Love ya.
Well, her name's Rock Chalk. She's the talk of the town. We're the German Shepherd duo, always sniffing around. Smith and Wesson by her side, they ain't just for show. They're the muscle when she's hustling, solving crime on the go. She's got her boots in the dirt, she's cracking the case. A true crime queen with a smirk on her face. Loves her country rap bumping, got that twang in that beat. You mess around with her, you're in for a treat. Oh, F-A-F-O, better watch your step. Rock Chalk's on the scene, she'll clean up your mess. With her dogs and her charm, she'll track you down slow. Oh, F-A-F-O, yeah, you reap what you sow. She's got a badge and a sassy attitude to boot. Kicks down doors like she's in hot pursuit. Smith and Wesson bark, don't you dare run. She's the queen of the scene, yeah, she gets it done. Country rap on the radio, she's cruising the street. From the city to the sticks, she's the one to meet. Her motto's real simple, don't try no bluff. Mess around all you want, but you'll find out quick enough. Whoa, F-A-F-O, better watch your step. Rock Chalk's on the scene, she'll clean up your mess. With her dogs and her charm, she'll track you down slow. Oh, F-A-F-O, yeah, you reap what you sow. She's got cowboy boots and a badge of steel. With a heart of gold and nerves unreal. You thought you could hide, but she's always in the know. Now you're caught, son, F-A-F-O. So here's the Rock Chalk and her Shepherd crew. Smith and Wesson got her back and they're coming for you. Country rap in her veins, she's the queen of the scene. F-A-F-O is her motto, and she's living the dream. Rock Chalk out. Hey! She's got cowboy boots and a badge of steel. With a heart of gold and nerves unreal. You thought you could hide, but she's always in the know. Now you're caught, son, F-A-F-O. So here's the Rock Chalk and her Shepherd crew. Smith and Wesson got her back and they're coming for you. Country rap in her veins, she's the queen of the scene. F-A-F-O is her motto, and she's living the dream. Rock Chalk out.
Hello to everyone. How's everybody doing? We are going to go over some paperwork that was filed in Guyman, Oklahoma on the Kansas mom's case. TV just lost signal. I hope I don't lose signal on my computer. Anyway, so anybody that's in the back chat, you're more than welcome to chat and give us your opinions. I went over the documents today, but I definitely wanted to do it with everybody tonight at 7. So I'm just going to replay what we went over with today. At any point, just let me know and we can stop it. We can discuss it. Thank you to my producer. Journey is my producer, and she does a damn good job. And Hawkeyes is the co-producer. She just didn't know it till just now. So, girly girl, much love to you. And anybody else that's in the chat watching. Feel free to comment. And we're going to play this. If I can stand to hear my own voice, I don't know. I ain't never did this part before. We'll try. Let's see here. New tab. Yeah. Okay. You type in OSCN, but I'll type it in. It's right there. Go into OSCN net. And you could have went to docket search there, but this is how I've always did it. And we're going to go into Texas County. Again, think I struck my own channel. I don't know what happened there. Let's try again. I don't know why it stopped. Did it. And we're going to go into Texas County. Again, I'm going to schedule a live for tonight. But I've been saying that I felt like Tad was his attorney was gonna try to get him off, saying he did not unalive Jillian. That's what it looks like is happening. Okay. Let's see if this comes
Mama
up.
lost her.
Sometimes
Good to see you.
to share my screen in StreamYard, I have to see if it I might have to back out
Hey, Black.
of the live and just bring it up so you can see
Yeah, let's
the
get
actual
into it,
documents.
Robin.
This lag between my computer and the live we're doing right now, sometimes it's very annoying. Okay, yeah, here we are. Okay. November 5th was the arraignment. And we're going to go down here to the bottom is where you'll be able to get the documents at. And actually, I'm going to go there's a lot there, so I'm just going to go all the way to the end and back up. Okay. Christopher wants to see something. These are the re-punishments, and here's the squash.
Boy, our girl has
Got an
a
itch
cold.
in my throat. And I smoke cigarettes, so
Red hippie. Good to see you.
that's probably part of it. Need to quit. The wind is blowing today. I think it's got me where it's hard to, it's tickle in my throat. Okay, stick on my throat.
Hey, Southeast Colorado. Good to see you. Hello, hello.
I'm trying to bring it up. I've got it up on my screen, but it's not allowing me to bring it up on the squash.
And
I'll just read it to you. But I posted all these on my.
let me tell you, I figured out how to bring it up on the screen, but I already went through this today. So again, I'm going to be right here. We're live, but I'm just going to replay this. So for one, you don't have to hear me cough and stuff. And it does tickle my throat when I'm trying to read documents. So here we go. Posts on my channel. But I'm going to read it to you. You're just not going to be able to read along. So here we go. Filed November 4th, 2025, which was the day before. Defendant's motion to quash and brief in support. Comes now defendant Tad Burt Cullum, by and through counsel of record Joy Miskell and Tamala Bridge submits this motion to quash and brief in support. Pursuant to 22 OS, a motion to quash for insufficient evidence should be granted because the prosecution failed to provide sufficient evidence to support the necessary elements of the offenses charged in support of Mr. Cullum states as follows. Number one, on April 12, 2024, the prosecution filed an information alleging Mr. Cullum committed the offenses as follows. Count 1, murder in the first degree. Count 2, murder in the first degree. Count 3, conspiracy. Count 4, unlawful removal of a dead body. Count 5, unlawful removal of a dead body. Count 6, unlawful desecration of a human corpse. And 7, unlawful desecration of a human corpse. Number 2, as to counts 1 and 2, a person commits murder in the first degree when that person unlawfully and with malice aforethought causes the death of another human being. The required elements of murder in the first degree include, listen, I'm going to stop right here.
because I was just talking to somebody about this earlier. I wasn't on YouTube other than for music at this time. But Casey Anthony, everybody knows she killed her daughter. But the prosecution was going for first-degree murder, and that's why Casey Anthony walked, because they tried to overcharge her and didn't have the evidence for it to fall in first-degree murder. And you can't get double jeopardy. So she walked. She walked, and we damn well knew that she killed her daughter. Okay. The required elements of first-degree murder in the first degree include the death of a human. Number 2, the death was unlawful. Number 3, the death was caused by the defendant. 4, the death was caused with malice aforethought. Then it skips to number 3. Paragraph 3. Malice aforethought is a deliberate intention to take away the life of a human being. Well, we know he did it. I knew he was going to try to get out of it. This intent must be formed before the act and must exist at the time of death, although intent can be formed instantly before the commission of the act. Paragraph 4. Here the prosecution has failed to provide sufficient evidence Mr. Cullum caused either death with malice aforethought. The insufficient evidence for these two elements merits dismissal of both counts. Paragraph 5. As to count 3, conspiracy is defined as 2 or more people conspiring to commit any crime. The elements of conspiracy are 1, an agreement between 2 or more people. 2, to commit a crime. 3, the defendants were parties to the agreement at the time it's made and knowingly became a party to the agreement, and the defendant overly acted to further the agreement to commit a crime. Paragraph 6 says, the prosecution did not provide sufficient evidence to show that Mr. Cullum was a party to a conspiracy to commit a crime, or if the court finds he entered a conspiracy to commit a crime, he did not remain a party to any conspiracy. Mr. Cullum argues he did not overtly act to further any conspiracy. Dude, it was your leased land that you leased, and you dug the hole to put them in with the skidster, and you and Paul Grice put them in the freezer and strapped them and put them in the 10-foot hole, put cement on them and buried them. You can overcharge in a case, absolutely. And listen, they usually try to get every charge they can as far as a lot of charges. I understand that. But we all watched Casey Anthony walk. Yeah, we know she was guilty. But when the jury went to do it, she didn't meet all the qualifications that they thought for first degree murder. Same thing with O.J. Simpson. We do not want this to happen with Tad. And to put hay over the top. Jeez. Okay, paragraph 7. As to counts 4 and 5, unlawful removal of a dead body prohibits intentional removal for any purpose of a descendant's remains from the initial site where the remains are located. Now, he helped get Jillian in the trailer, and he helped get Veronica in the trailer where they were unalived at L Road, and then took them to Beasley's property where he leased that land for his cattle. Okay, paragraph 8 says, for these counts, the prosecution did not provide sufficient evidence that Mr. Cullum intentionally removed the remains of the 2 descendants from the site of the of death. Hey, girly girl, good to see you. Gonna go live again tonight, probably about 7:30. Okay, number 9. As to count 6 and 7, unlawful desecration of human corpse requires the state to prove Mr. Cullum knowingly and willfully desecrated a human corpse for any purpose. The statute lists examples of unlawful purposes, including tampering with evidence of a crime, camouflaging the death of a person. Huh? Yeah, he put hay over that hole that he
he filled in, disposing of a dead body, impeding an investigation of a crime, or concealing the identification of a dead body. Paragraph 10 says, Mr. Cullum argues the prosecution failed to provide sufficient evidence that he knowingly and willfully desecrated a human corpse. The totality of the evidence indicates that Mr. Cullum allegedly involvement with moving the remains of two descendants was made under duress. This argument should not be construed as any admission to any element of any circumstances because of the crimes, because Mr. Cullum maintains his innocence as to all counts. This argument is included to both support this claim for insufficient evidence and to preserve Mr. Cullum's available appellate rights. Paragraph 11, a brief in support of defendant's motion follows. Brief in support, that's what we're on now. Procedural history and evidence presented. I'm going to get a drink so I don't start coughing, and I'll catch up with the chat after I read these. Okay, procedural history and evidence presented. On December 17th through the 18th, 2024, this court held a preliminary hearing in this matter. The evidence presented at preliminary hearing included testimony from Cora Twombly, Paul Grice, James Beasley, Officer Brian Exina, Officer Jason Ott, and Officer Trevor Ridgway. Witness number 1, Cora Twombly. Ms. Twombly testified regarding her involvement in the homicide of Veronica Butler and Julian Kelly. Ms. Twombly exchanged a plea bargain with the prosecution to have a significantly different outcome in her case. The prosecution charged Ms. Twombly with 5 counts, including count 1, murder in the first degree, count 2, murder in the first degree, count 3, kidnapping, count 4, kidnapping, count 5, conspiracy to commit murder in the first degree. As a result of the plea, Ms. Twombly received many concessions constituent on her testimony against Mr. Cullum. The prosecution agreed not to file a bill of particulars seeking the death of Ms. Twombly. She received immunity for all crimes she committed in Kansas, and the kidnapping charges were dismissed. Ms. Twombly pled guilty to counts 1 and 2 and is expected to receive a suspended life sentence except for the first 30 years imprisonment. Yeah, it's going to be like 30 years plus 10 is what it looks like. The prosecution dismissed counts 3 and 4. For count 5, she pled guilty and received 10 years imprisonment. The parties agreed all counts run concurrently. Receiving a set term of years will give her the opportunity to transition back into the community without having the parole board require her rehabilitation before release. This agreement preserved Ms. Twombly's life. Ms. Twombly's testimony following this agreement reveals her significant involvement as a primary actor who, with Tiffany Adams and Paul Grice, planned and caused the death of Veronica Butler and Julian Kelly. Before her testimony at the preliminary hearing, and you could go back and look at the lives. We went over Paul Grice's testimony at the preliminary hearing, and we went over Cora's on 2 different lives. It's actually very interesting to listen to. Maybe not listening to me, but listening to the testimony that was given. Okay, before her testimony at the preliminary hearing, Ms. Twombly admitted that she reviewed case-related discovery, her own video interview, transcripts of her own interview, and video of Paul Grice's first interview. The interview occurred on October 15, 2024, following the filing of the information in Ms. Twombly's case. For reasons unknown, she was permitted to review part of the video of Paul Grice's first interview with law enforcement before her testimony. She looked at all available discoveries in preparation for her testimony. Discovery in this case includes multiple police reports from law enforcement, photographs, lab testing reports, physical evidence, and video interviews, and more. Ms. Twombly described her interview with law enforcement on October 15, 2025. At the interview, Ms. Twombly explained how a group of friends formed a group with similar political. October 15, 2025. Described her interview. That's got to say 2024. I don't know why it says 2025. That was just a month ago. I don't believe that happened a month ago. We're going to keep going. At this interview, Ms. Twombly explained how a group of friends formed a group with similar political and religious beliefs. The original group included Paul Grice, Lachey Grice, Cora Twombly, Cole Twombly, Barrett Cook, Lacey Cook. Listen, they stopped. Okay, so Jezebel, hey Mowens, good to see you. I missed your show. Glad to be back. Glad to have you back.
Jezebel says he also had an ample amount of time to work a deal to avoid the death penalty, but he didn't. That's true. I've said from the beginning, by the way they talked to Paul Grice and the way Tad's attorney was asking questions, that they was going to try to get Tad out of this, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. And also, they're going to get all the phone calls. They're going to be able to go over all the phone calls from the jail. That was ruled too. $30,000 worth of phone calls. Wowza. Stopped at Lazy Cook, okay? Let's just go on. They also named Frank Twombly. They also named Clint Twombly. They also, Joe Bob. What was Joe Bob's name? There was more. But in this particular court order, they're only naming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just want you to know, if you don't hit that like, you don't have to subscribe. But hit that like, or Black Opal is going to come over from across the pond. See, Journey is my producer. Black Opal is my enforcer. Just so you know. And the group later expanded to including others, including Tad Cullum and Tiffany Adams. Miss Adams told the group she was involved in a custody court proceeding to seek custody of her grandchildren. In August 2023, Miss Adams was unable to continue to advocate in court for custody of her grandchildren due to the costs. Miss Adams told Miss Twombly the children were being abused where they were at with their mother by their uncle. Miss Adams asked the group to come to her home to witness to law enforcement and the children's father attempting to removing the children from Miss Adams' care. That would be the call of arms when Wrangler went to pick up his kids, and Tiffany called over pretty much everybody in the God's Misfits group over, and they all brought guns and police came. That was the call of arms. Member of the group came to the home armed, and the children remained with Miss Adams. Miss Adams coordinated the group meetings and chose who to invite to join her planning. Her goal was to stop the children from residing with their mother because she was permitting them to be sexually abused. When the group first met to plan their intervention in the custody case, Jezebel, I agree. But what they're trying to say here, Paul Grice said that he was scared because he rode in the back of that trailer. They locked him in there. So when they got to Beasley's property and the trailer opened, he pulled a gun on Tad. What you're going to see here is they're trying to say that Paul Grice held a gun to Tad to make him run the skidster, to put the women in the freezer, and to put them in the hole. Tad's attorney is trying to say that Paul Grice had a gun on Tad, and that's the only reason he did what he did, as far as the skidster and stuff. Neither Miss Twombly nor Miss Adams suggested she die. Later, Miss Adams spoke to Miss Twombly alone, and Miss Adams said she needed to get rid of Miss Butler. Miss Twombly knew that Miss Adams wanted to kill Miss Butler. She testified Miss Adams invented a scenario that would make Miss Butler's death look like an accident. Miss Adams' plan was to have a vice thrown through her truck into Miss Butler's windshield while she was driving. Miss Adams wanted Tad Cullum to meet with them and practice throwing the vice at hay bales. For the practice run, Miss Twombly planned to drive the truck while Mr. Cullum threw the vice. The practice never occurred. Miss Twombly, Miss Adams, and Mr. Cullum met to clear dead trees from Miss Twombly's property. Miss Twombly stated Mr. Cullum brought the vice to the location. They left the T off. Brought the vice to the location. But she never said Mr. Cullum was aware of the planned use for the vice. She testified he was present to help clear dead trees out of her yard. Miss Twombly never concretely stated she or Miss Adams told Miss Cullum about the plan to murder Miss Butler, only that Tiffany wanted us to practice on those hay bales with the vice. The practice never occurred. Miss Twombly and Miss Adams worked together to create a plan for killing Miss Butler with a vice. The two women alone created the vice plan with details. Miss Adams' truck, because the truck did not have GPS, coordinating the purchase of disposable cell phones to avoid racing, picking a date, time, and location, and ensuring Miss Butler would be in the area. The vice plan failed because Miss Butler was not at the planned location instead. Miss Butler went to a friend's home. Following the failed plan, Miss Adams and Miss Twombly continued to plan to kill Miss Butler. After the vice plan failed, Miss Adams and Miss Twombly created a new plan to kill Miss Butler.
Ms. Twombly testified the second plan involved the help of the other group members. She explained that Miss Adams coordinated the second plan and assigned duties. Miss Adams orchestrated nearly all components of the plan. The meetup with Miss Butler, the location, the burner phones, vehicles, trailer, equipment, weapon type, strategy to lure the descendant to the trailer, method for hiding the bodies, location for hiding the bodies, destruction of evidence, and finally the recruitment of people to implement her orders. In addition to the planning, Miss Adams herself intended to lure Miss Butler into the trailer for her death. Miss Adams bought and distributed the tasers and burner phones. Before the planned day, Miss Adams knew the visit supervisor, Miss Jillian Kelly, would be present, and Miss Adams explained she would need to die too because Miss Kelly didn't keep the kids safe from the sexual abuse, and Miss Kelly would be a witness to the crime. Miss Adams described Miss Kelly as collateral damage. On March 30th, 2024, Miss Adams and Miss Twombly carried out their plan to kill Miss Butler. The evening started out to plan when Miss Adams and Miss Twombly met with the group at the location Miss Adams identified. The trailer and truck were present, and Miss Adams planned shortly after Miss Butler and Miss Kelly arrived in a separate truck. Well, they weren't in a truck. They were in a Kia. But anyway, Miss Twombly was at a lookout in another vehicle, and she knew the plan had not gone as expected. This is weird. Nobody proofread this thing? And she knew the plan had not gone as expected when saw two people running from the trailer to the car. She moved her truck behind Miss Butler's car, and she saw Mr. Grice and Miss Butler struggling. Miss Twombly saw Miss Adams walk from the trailer. She observed Paul Grice on top of Miss Butler, stabbing her. Miss Twombly said Mr. Cullum helped Mr. Grice pull Miss Butler's body into the trailer. She did not see Mr. Cullum stab or injure either Miss Butler or Miss Kelly. Exactly what I said all along. I said that Tad's attorney was going to try to make it that he didn't have anything to do with this. He was this innocent bystander. Because Paul Grice couldn't pinpoint seeing Tad do anything to Jillian, and neither could Cora. But you would think DNA would... Listen, I hope OSBI's got it right. I think they do. But you would think DNA would show the difference, because it would have been all over him and it would have been all over Jillian. Now, Jillian would have had also Paul Grice's DNA, because if you remember, when the trailer was moving, he said her eyes were fluttering, and he did not want her to wake up in that freezer, okay, with the dead body. So he stabbed her because he wasn't sure if she was dead yet or not. But also, he had felt like he had been set up. They just shut him in this trailer and started going down the road. As a matter of fact, when the trailer stopped, he got out with his gun and pulled it on Tad. He thought he'd been set up. Okay, here we go. On March 30th, 2024, Miss Adams and Miss Twombly carried out their plan to kill Miss Butler. Did I reread that part? Miss Twombly was a lookout. Yeah, I already read that part. Okay, we're going to go to the rest. Okay. Miss Twombly said Mr. Cullum helped Mr. Grice pull Miss Butler's body into the trailer. She did not see Mr. Cullum stab or injure either Miss Butler or Miss Kelly. She testified she only saw Mr. Cullum walking. That's all I ever saw him do. Afterwards, and that's in parentheses, afterwards, Miss Twombly left with Miss Adams. She and her husband, Cole Twombly, disposed of evidence, including a hammer, burner phones, and clothes. Miss Twombly did not testify or give any information to explain what happened after she left with Miss Adams, or who took the bodies and where. Now we're getting to witness number 2, Paul Grice. Let me catch up with chat. Actually, I'm not going to catch up with chat. We're going to have to wait till I get through these because it's in a whole different screen. But Christopher says that's why Tad continues to help hide bodies, because Paul forced him with the gun. Yeah. Here we go. Paul Grice's testimony. Mr. Grice's testimony started at the preliminary hearing on December 17, 2024, and continued the next day. He testified regarding his involvement in the homicide of Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. Mr. Grice bargained successfully with the prosecution to testify in exchange for preservation of his life. The prosecution charged Mr. Grice with 5 counts, including murder in the first degree, kidnapping, conspiracy to commit murder in the first degree. As a result of the agreement, the prosecution agreed not to file a bill of particulars seeking the death of Mr. Grice. Mr. Grice's purpose in testifying was to get off the death penalty. Mr. Grice's testimony following this agreement reveals his significant involvement as a primary actor who, with Tiffany Adams and Cora Twombly, planned and caused the death of Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. Mr. Grice became involved in the group because he knew Cora Twombly. At the group meetings, he met Cole Twombly, Tiffany Adams, and Tad Cullum. See, I think they got this wrong too. Tad and Tiffany knew each other way before the God's Misfits group. I'm going to read that again. Mr. Grice became involved. I thought Mr. Grice knew him all, but we're going to read it again. Mr. Grice became involved in the group because he knew Cora Twombly. At the group meetings, he met Cole Twombly, Tiffany Adams, and Tad Cullum. But they're all from that area. Jezebel, you're right. Because he was nude, and Paul Grice only had his socks on. They took all their clothes off and threw it in that hole. So you're correct. Area. I thought he already knew him. Mr. Grice joined an anti-government group called the American State and National Movement, and he filed paperwork to become a state nationalist with the intent of avoiding the government. I about took myself out. Yeah, Southeast Junebug says, so you know a murder is going to take place, and you go with all the parties involved and just watch take place and say you're not involved. The law must be really dumb. Yeah, that is true. But also what I was saying before, maybe not go for first-degree murder. Will a jury charge him with first-degree murder? That's another issue. Especially when they're going with this. It sounds like to me he's going to try to pull a Casey Anthony. Overcharge me. Hey, one law. Overcharge me and I'll walk because the jury won't find every stipulation for the first-degree murder charge. I'm not an attorney. This is just my opinions. But we saw it happen with O.J. Simpson. We saw it happen with Casey Anthony. So to think that it wouldn't happen here, government's authority. Mr. Grice learned from Miss Adams that her grandchild. Shit, did I kick myself out? I think I did. Where is it? I did kick myself out of StreamYard. I think. Can you guys still hear me? Did I kick myself out of here? Hold on. What in the world is going on here? Hold on. Children lived in an unsafe environment with her. Hold on. What do I got going on here? Can you hear me right now? Hold on. I've lost the StreamYard. It's not on my screen up here. That's what I'm trying to find. Hold on. Give me just a second. I need a producer. I need my producer here. I need her to help me because I'm having issues. Oh, okay. What is this? What do we got going here? I still can't find the StreamYard, guys. Like, seriously. No StreamYard. It's showing up there. How can you still hear me? I don't even know how you're still hearing me. Let me see here. I'm probably going to have 2 people in StreamYard. Lordy mercy.
If it echoes like crazy, I'm going to start it all over. Hold on. Okay, I got two. What the hell? Hold on. Let me see. Okay, get rid of. Give me. I'm deleting everything up here. Got it. So, uh, where is it's not even hard, guys. Hold on. Here. Everything. Lord mercy. This is not. No. This one? No. Hold on. Okay. Maybe this is. Hold. I'll be right back. I'm going. Oh, this is not. Okay, can you hear me? Do you hear anything? That was operator error, I promise. Okay, still give me. I'm gonna start my computer. I'll be right back. I can't do this. Be right back. 2 seconds. Okay, we're back. We are back. So here we go. Let me pull up my screen. Sorry about that. Hey, Mark Owens. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Back where we left off. Court yesterday. Gonna go over it. Okay. And I'm using the hotspot because we are at an RV park. Okay. We're still in Stillwater. Oh, I was going to tell you guys, the Stillwater case hit the NBC News last night.
ABC.
Or ABC, sorry, it was ABC. Okay, here we go.
With her mother's family, and relatives sexually abused the children under her watch. Miss Adams came to Mr. Grice's home to talk about custody and sexual abuse. He testified after our talk, she point blank asked me if I would kill Veronica. Mr. Grice did not rationally make decision in the moment. Instead, he took time to weigh his options and decided if he wanted to kill Miss Butler. Miss Adams used religion and quotes from the Bible to make Mr. Grice feel that he had to kill Miss Butler. He claimed Miss Adams manipulated him when she used his history of childhood abuse to appeal to his emotions and when she asked him what he would do if this were his own kids. Mr. Grice said he boasted to the group that he had killed people as a member of a mercenary group. He told his friend the purpose of the mercenary group was to kill people to keep kids safe. He recanted this statement at the preliminary hearing, saying he lied while drinking. Miss Adams met with Mr. Grice a second time at his home, where she approached him about killing Miss Butler. After careful consideration, Mr. Grice told Miss Adams he would kill Miss Butler to protect the children. Miss Adams told Mr. Grice the visit supervisor would be present, that she would have to be killed because she would be a witness. Miss Adams told him, "It's a nobody." Talk about Julian. Miss Adams explained her entire plan and each step of the method. Miss Adams' plan was to bring a pickup, a trailer, a freezer. She would lure the women to the trailer and have Mr. Grice kill Miss Butler. Mr. Grice said her plan was to have Mr. Cullum kill Miss Kelly, bury the bodies, and destroy the evidence. Mr. Grice coordinated his plans with Miss Adams. His actions were consistent with Miss Adams' plans. She brought tasers to immobilize the women if they refused to get in the trailer. Likewise, Mr. Grice brought a hammer because, and this is in parentheses, so it's something that Grice is saying, I was thinking if you could knock them in the head and knock them out, it would make things easier. So he brought a hammer, a knife, and a pistol with him to kill Miss Butler. Mr. Grice claimed that Mr. Cullum's job was to coordinate the freezer. Later, Mr. Grice explained that he was the person that drove Clint Twombly's flatbed truck to Miss Adams' trailer, hooked up the trailer, and afterwards picked up Mr. Cullum. The freezer was in the back of the trailer with ratchet straps. Mr. Grice hid in the back of the trailer to kill Miss Butler. Once he saw Miss Butler at the trailer, he tried to taser her, and he hit her in the head with the hammer. When the taser did not work, Mr. Grice hit Miss Butler until the hammer fell apart. He chased her while hitting her with the hammer and tasing her. Mr. Grice tackled Miss Butler and stabbed her multiple times with his knife. He tried to stab her throat while she was fighting him. Mr. Grice was the only person that stabbed Miss Butler, and he acknowledged the medical examiner's report listed 30 knife wounds. Mr. Grice yelled for help after he cut his own hand. He knew Miss Butler was dead because she quit fighting back, blinking and breathing. You could see the life was gone. Miss Adams came to help him. Miss Adams walked in a circle, laughing and smiling while Mr. Grice killed Miss Butler. While Mr. Grice stabbed and killed Miss Butler, he heard Miss Kelly scream and gasp, but he did not see what happened to Miss Kelly. Mr. Grice entered the trailer and saw Miss Kelly's body. He didn't know who loaded her. He did not see Miss Kelly die or who caused her death. Mr. Grice said, "I didn't see Mr. Cullum do anything." After their bodies were in the trailer, Miss Adams drove the truck and trailer away with Mr. Grice and the remains in the trailer. Mr. Grice noticed that Miss Kelly's eyes were fluttering, and he checked her for a pulse. He could not tell if Miss Kelly was breathing. Mr. Grice was more concerned about getting his hand to stop bleeding than he was with Miss Kelly's life. He started to worry the group had set him up, which delayed him from checking Miss Kelly's pulse and breathing. Mr. Grice said he was set up to kill both ladies. Mr. Grice said he stabbed Miss Kelly 2 or 3 times in the neck to be sure she died. During cross-examination, Mr. Grice acknowledged the medical examiner's report documented 16 stab wounds and that the cause of death was a stab wound to her spinal cord at the base of her skull. Mr. Grice said he lied to Mr. Twombly, and Mr. Cullum about how and why he stabbed Miss Kelly. He told them Miss Kelly woke up and tried to take his gun. Mr. Grice claimed Mr. Cullum told him Miss Kelly did not fight back. Mr. Grice manufactured this story to testify to the loyalty group. When the truck and trailer stopped, Mr. Cullum opened the trailer gate, and Mr. Grice put Mr. Cullum at gunpoint with his 45mm handgun. Then Mr. Grice had Mr. Cullum drive the skidster. So this is crazy. So according to Tad's attorney, they're trying to say that Paul Grice has a gun on Tad and making him drive the skidster. Is that how you guys are taking it? Because I'm going to read it again right here. When the truck and trailer stopped, Mr. Cullum opened the trailer gate, and Mr. Grice put Mr. Cullum at gunpoint with his 45. Then Mr. Grice had Mr. Cullum drive the skidster to the burial site while Mr. Grice moved the truck and trailer. Mr. Grice and Mr. Cullum took Miss Butler's body, Miss Kelly's body, and the freezer out of the trailer with the skidster. Both bodies were placed in the freezer, ratcheted shut, placed in the hole, and buried. Before the burial, Cole Twombly arrived. Mr. Twombly put the men's clothing in the hole with the freezer, and he brought a hay bale to put on top of the disturbed ground. Mr. Grice said he put his pistol and holster into the hole. Mr. Grice testified. I'll say that again. Mr. Grice said he put his pistol, and holster into the hole. Mr. Grice testified that Mr. Cullum filled the hole with dirt and concrete. During his testimony, Mr. Grice identified photos of the buried items. The photos of buried items included hats, gloves, shoes, jeans, a jacket, a hoodie, Mr. Grice's knife, and Mr. Grice's taser. Mr. Grice's pistol, belt, and holster were not included in the admitted exhibits, even though Mr. Grice claimed they were buried with the other items. That's what I was saying. I did not see his gun was in that hole. It wasn't. Mr. Grice's testimony resumed the next day, December 18, 2024. He provided additional detail about his role in the death of Miss Butler and Miss Kelly. He first confessed to killing Miss Butler when he was taken to the Texas County Detention Center. Despite his confession to homicide, Mr. Grice was released from jail. Let's say that again. He first confessed to killing Miss Butler. Okay, who wrote this? We're going to go over it, but his meetings with OSBI was at Four Corners. Let me read this again. He first confessed to killing Miss Butler when he was taken to the Texas County Detention Center. Despite his confession to homicide, Mr. Grice was released from jail. Law enforcement interviewed Mr. Grice on April 23, 2024. Mr. Grice lied during... Now, isn't that weird? Because Paul Grice's testimony was that he met him at Four Corners and they didn't have a warrant, so they couldn't arrest him. But they confronted him with all the DNA evidence, and he confessed. And they said, well, we don't have a warrant. Go home, do what you're going to do, and when we get a warrant, we'll call you. You can come turn yourself in. That's crazy. And now they're saying that happened at the detention center? In the interview. Is lied about details of the planning, crime, and his involvement. He denied involvement in Miss Kelly's death. After Mr. Grice bargained with the prosecutor to avoid the death penalty, he participated in a second interview. This is crazy. So they're going to try to say before the second interview, he made a plea bargain with Buddy Leach? Who wrote all this up? Okay, I'm just going to keep reading it. We'll go over it after we're done. After Mr. Grice bargained with the prosecutor to avoid the death penalty, he participated in a second interview on September 17, 2024. The reason he gave this interview was to avoid the death penalty. Mr. Grice admitted to stabbing Miss Kelly in the interview. During his testimony at the preliminary hearing, Mr. Grice admitted to lying during both interviews with law enforcement. His second interview was under oath, and Mr. Grice admitted to committing perjury. Mr. Grice invented new details, including that Mr. Cullum admitted to trying to break Miss Kelly's neck. Mr. Beasley owns the property where Miss Adams orchestrated burying the bodies of Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. Now, let me remind you, this is Tad Cullum's attorney that wrote all this. So you're not going to find anything bad about Tad in here. It's going to be about everybody else. We're playing the blame game. It's the blame game. Paul Grice, Tiffany Adams, Cora Twombly, they're to blame, not me. Okay, here we go. Mr. Beasley owns the property where Miss Adams orchestrated burying the bodies of Veronica Butler, Jillian Kelly, and he testified to his observations. Mr. Beasley has known Mr. Cullum since they were children. Mr. Beasley leased Mr. Cullum grazing rights to his property. On March 29, 2024, Mr. Beasley met with Mr. Cullum and Miss Adams. Mr. Cullum offered to cut down a tree and take dead trees off the property. Mr. Beasley had a refrigerator sitting by the door, and he asked Mr. Cullum to move it across the driveway. Mr. Cullum told Mr. Beasley he would dig a hole and bury the fridge. Miss Adams and Mr. Cullum started doing the work about an hour or two later. Okay, maybe I just had so much going on then, but is this the first we're hearing of Mr. Beasley having a fridge and that's why the hole was dug? Let me read that again. Mr. Cullum told Mr. Beasley he would dig a hole and bury the fridge. Miss Adams and Mr. Cullum started doing the work about an hour or two later. Mr. Beasley observed Mr. Cullum's skidster and equipment for work. Their agreement included Mr. Cullum burying chunks of concrete from a barn's foundation. Mr. Cullum left the skidster on the property overnight in a corral. Mr. Beasley never observed Mr. Cullum digging a hole on his property. I thought you just said that Cullum was digging a hole for a refrigerator that Beasley wanted thrown in there. Mr. Beasley never observed Mr. Cullum digging a hole on his property. The next morning, the trailer and skidster were gone. Now, we're at Witness Officer Brian Xenia. Mr. Xenia, an employee with the OSBI, and he was assigned to process evidence from the crime scene. He located a hammerhead, a knife handle, and duct tape. He removed all the items from the hole at the burial site, including clothing items, the freezer, and the remains. Mr. Xenia took DNA samples from Veronica Butler, Jillian Kelly, Tiffany Adams, Cole Twombly, Tad Cullum, Cora Twombly, and Paul Grice. Now we're at Officer Jason Ott. Mr. Ott is employed with the OSBI, and he collected DNA buccal swab samples for all defendants. Now we're at Trevor Ridgway. Mr. Ridgway is employed with the OSBI, and he investigated the deaths of Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. Mr. Ridgway viewed the incinerator where Cora Twombly and Cole Twombly destroyed evidence. He located 2 flip phones, a bag of kitty litter, and a claw hammer. Mr. Ridgway confirmed Tiffany Adams purchased one of the phones. He reviewed the medical examiner's report. He learned Miss Kelly's death was caused by a knife wound that severed her spinal cord, and she died instantly. And some DNA evidence was lost because the bodies were moved from the crime scene and buried for a couple of weeks. The lab result confirmed the presence of blood on the hammerhead. Mr. Leach never spoke with or interviewed Mr. Cullum. Legal argument and authority. Pursuant to the 22 OS, a motion to quash for insufficient evidence is proper. Cora Twombly and Paul Grice's testimony is not credible, is self-serving, and is made as a part of life-saving plea deals. The analysis of what weight, if any, should be given to their testimony is the key, because evidence that is not credible nor reliable is insufficient. When interviewed, both Ms. Twombly and Mr. Grice untruthfully deflected responsibility to Mr. Cullum, instead of taking responsibility for the entirety of their own actions in planning and executing Veronica Butler and Tiffany Kelly. Okay, really? These people are stupid. Okay, this is what it says. It does say it. They don't say Jillian Kelly. It says Tiffany Kelly. God, for fuck's sake. He pays this attorney all this money and they can't get it right? I'm going to read that to you one more time. And it don't say Mr. Cullum. It says Mr. Callum, Callum, instead of taking responsibility for the entirety of their own actions in planning and executing Veronica Butler, and Tiffany Kelly. Jillian Kelly is what it should say. In addition, Mr. Grice acknowledges that Mr. Cullum, which should be Cullum, was under duress when Mr. Grice held Mr. Cullum under gunpoint while directing the burial of.
So, listen, this bothers me terribly. Yeah, I've typed in Jillian's name before, and it'll and autocorrect to Julian. But this is the attorney's paperwork, and they are calling not Jillian Kelly. They're calling it Tiffany Kelly. They're not even getting the victim's name right. Cad's attorney, that's really a high-priced attorney and supposedly really good. Hopefully they correct that.
The women's remains and destruction of evidence. Number 1. The evidence at the preliminary hearing is insufficient to support counts 1 through 3 because the testimony of Cora Twombly and Paul Grice is unreliable and self-serving. Ms. Twombly's testimony is not credible because she exchanged a plea bargain with the prosecution to have a significantly different outcome in her case. Ms. Twombly had the opportunity to reconcile her own prior inconsistent statements through review.
Have to unmute. That's crazy. I agree with it. How do you mess up a victim's name? That's just horrible. A whole nother name. The lady who planned it all. That's the name they got in front of Jillian's name. Tiffany Kelly? Come on. Do better.
Of the co-defendant.
And it's on there all the times from here on out till the very end. They keep referring it to Tiffany Kelly.
Statements. Her own statements and all police reports documenting the investigation. Not only did she have a chance to prepare her stories for a preliminary hearing, but she even was enabled to modify her version of events to align with Paul Grice's interview.
Yes, Paul Grice took his gun with him, and when everything went down at L Road, he was freaking out, and he was in the trailer. Remember, he cut his hand open. Well, he's in the trailer. They shut the trailer, and they took off driving with him in the back of the trailer, and he started freaking out by what he had did. So when they got to Beasley's place, and the actual trailer was open, yes, he pulled a gun on Tad. From his testimony and everybody else's testimony, he did pull a gun on Tad. Now, holding a gun to Tad to make him use the skidster and fill the hole and help with the girls in the freezer and all that, that's also what they're trying to say, that Paul Grice had a gun on Tad doing that.
Because she had access to his interview. The pressure to testify in a way that gets a result she believes the prosecution wants, a conviction and a death sentence, is extreme in this case because Miss Twombly's life was at stake. Her testimony is contaminated because she viewed substantial evidence and materials in advance of her testimony. This preparation causes her manufactured and curated versions of events to have no indica of reliability and entirely fail any test for credibility. The transcripts Ms. Twombly reviewed include her interview with OSBI on October 15, 2024. This interview occurred 7 months after the prosecution filed the information against Ms. Twombly. At the time of the interview, Ms. Twombly knew the prosecution would file a bill of particulars and seek the death penalty if she chose not to cooperate. For the sole purpose of preserving her life, she permitted OSBI to interview her. At the beginning of the interview, Ms.
Jason, you're right. We're all saying that. Like, so who forced him to drive the vehicle to the site if Paul was locked in the trailer? This will never hold water. The thing that bothers me, again, there's certain things you have to get to do a first-degree murder, okay? And again, I'm not an attorney, but Casey Anthony, O.J. Simpson, I feel like the DAs tried to overcharge them, and that's why they walked, because the jury didn't find the steps for first degree. I think he's guilty as hell of all of it. I think he's guilty of first degree. But if they're going to try to turn this around like this, you might have to go with a lesser charge. Still, he might not get the death penalty, but life in prison. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. Again, I'm not an attorney. Just giving you my opinion. It's just my opinion. That's it.
Twombly was placed under oath. Her later preliminary hearing testimony partially aligns with her OSBI interview, undoubtedly, because she was able to view the interview before her testimony. Her ability to prepare and reconcile her statements is apparent when compared to Mr. Grice. He did not watch the video or read the transcripts of his prior interviews and the consistency details from interview to the preliminary hearing are apparent. This contrast is unsurprising because Ms. Twombly had the opportunity to review the transcripts and the video. Ms. Twombly is clearly motivated to characterize events in a way that is beneficial to herself. At Ms. Twombly's OSBI interviews, she recognized Ms. Adams' involvement and gave significantly more detail about Ms. Adams' state of mind. She explained Ms. Adams has a temper and is hot-headed. Ms. Adams was frustrated, hostile, and aggressive. Ms. Twombly explained to OSBI that Ms. Adams was willing to do whatever it takes to protect the kids. So too here. Ms. Twombly is willing to say whatever she thinks the prosecution and OSBI want her to say to avoid the death penalty. The testimony of Paul Grice is equally contaminated and unreliable. OSBI interviewed Mr. Grice, and he did not take the responsibility for the deaths of Veronica Butler and Tiffany Kelly. I'll read that again. The testimony of Paul Grice is equally contaminated and unreliable. OSBI interviewed Mr. Grice, and he did not take responsibility for the deaths of Veronica Butler and Tiffany. And it says Tiffany Kelly, not Jillian Kelly. They got Tiffany Kelly on here. Lordy mercy. He portrayed himself as a hero, saving children, and described Miss Butler as smelling evil. He refused to admit that he killed Miss Kelly. Prosecution then filed the information, and Mr. Grice knew the prosecution would file a bill of particulars seeking the death penalty if he refused to cooperate. Mr. Grice's tune changed when he learned he could face the death penalty, and he asked for a second interview with OSBI. At the second interview, Mr. Grice admitted to killing Miss Butler and stabbing Miss Kelly. He tased Miss Butler, hit her with a hammer, chased her, tackled her, and ultimately stabbed her 30 times with a knife. He stabbed Miss Kelly multiple times in the trailer until he was satisfied she no longer lived. Mr. Grice acknowledged Miss Adams was the architect of the plan. In the second interview, he described her as controlling his actions. Mr. Grice and Miss Adams went to Hugoton almost every day for the entire month of March to follow Miss Butler. I didn't know that. Let me read that again. Mr. Grice and Miss Adams went to Hugoton almost every day for the entire month of March to follow Miss Butler and watch her at her house and to learn Miss Butler's pattern of movement.
Yeah, I agree. Granny knew she would get the death penalty if she didn't plead. But why didn't Buddy Leach make her testify? Because of spousal privilege, she don't have to testify against Cole. But why did Tiffany get to walk away without even testifying? That's not right. It's not right at all.
Miss Adams planned the location, coordinated using the burner phones, provided stun guns, found the trailer, which was hers, used the pickup to pull the trailer, and gathered people to help her achieve her goal. Mr. Grice and Miss Adams planned to tell Miss Butler.
Girly girl, I agree. How do you put Tiffany's name in front of Jillian's last name? Like, I don't understand. That's big mistakes, if you ask me. And the spelling. Who proofreads this shit?
Butler, the kids had a calf in the trailer to show her, luring Miss Butler to death. Mr. Grice characterized Miss Adams as manipulating him through his past and use of biblical stories. At the second interview, he implied Miss Adams placed an evil or demonic compulsion on him and forced him to do the act. At the interview, Mr. Grice discussed Mr. Cullum's purported duties and role. He said that Mr. Cullum used his skidster to dig the hole where they placed the bodies. Mr. Grice told OSBI Mr. Cullum put concrete in the hole and buried the freezer. But he also said he didn't see what Mr. Cullum did at Mr. Beasley's property. Mr. Grice admitted to drawing his pistol at Mr. Cullum, but he minimized the circumstances at this interview. He told OSBI he drew his gun because he didn't know who was coming in the trailer, and he almost shot Mr. Cullum. This story contrasts to his testimony at the preliminary hearing, where he explained He held Mr. Cullum at gunpoint because he thought the group was setting him up to take the fall for the deaths. At their interview, Mr. Grice told OSBI that he put his bloody clothes into the hole with the freezer but kept his gun. He tried to deflect more attention and blame towards Mr. Cullum when he implied to OSBI that Mr. Cullum had killed people before and told OSBI he believed Mr. Cullum was a regular drug user. Wow. Despite claiming to cooperate with OSBI, he continued to minimize his involvement and was dishonest about his role in the death of Tiffany Kelly, which would be Jillian Kelly, perhaps to associate his conscience. You know what? I'm going to send an email to his attorney. They've got to get the name right. Her name is Jillian Kelly. It's not Tiffany Kelly. That's ridiculous. Perhaps to assume his conscience. Mr. Grice manufactured a story to protect himself. He claimed he could not know if he killed Miss Kelly when he stabbed her 16 times. He lied to his friends about his reason for stabbing Miss Kelly. Mr. Grice told Miss Adams and Mr. Cullum that he stabbed Miss Kelly because she woke up and tried to take his gun. When Mr. Grice testified, he said the story was untrue and he made it up on the drive. He created this tale after stabbing Miss Kelly to see how Miss Adams and Mr. Cullum would react. Mr. Grice believed that he did not kill Miss Kelly is an incredulous as his story that he came up with strategic method of testing his friend's loyalty moments after stabbing Miss Kelly 16 times. The truth is, Mr. Grice killed Miss Kelly, felt guilty about killing an innocent bystander, and manufactured a lie he could use to avoid shame and responsibility for his actions. Mr. Grice's only consistent trait is his lies. He admits to lying to OSBI. He admits to committing perjury. He lies at the preliminary hearing. The purpose of his testimony is for the sole purpose of avoiding the death penalty. His actions and testimony is to save his own skin. The testimony of Miss Plumley and Mr. Grice is insufficient to support a bindover. Testimony of an appliance. Hold on, I'm getting to your comments here. You're back, Black Opal? All right. That's not right. So is the no contest plea, even though Oklahoma law contends it makes no difference to a guilty plea, except she doesn't have to testify to guilty involvement with the co-conspirator? Yeah. Buddy Leach signed a plea deal with her, so she don't have to testify to anything. Her deal's done. She goes for sentencing in January. She's done. She don't have to testify. Why would he do that? That makes no sense. She should have to testify, but she don't. Paul Grice, all he got to take the death penalty off is to tell the truth. Why is Tiffany not testifying? You'd have to ask Buddy Leach that. A compliance is itself insufficient. A conviction cannot be had upon the testimony of an accomplice unless he be corroborated by such other evidence as tends to connect the defendant with the commissions of the offense. And the corroboration is not sufficient if it is merely show the commission of the offense or the circumstances thereof. Twombly and Mr. Grice alleged that Mr. Cullum was involved in the planning of the deaths of Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. Oh, they finally put Jillian Kelly in there. Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. Yet neither of them saw Mr. Cullum harm either woman. At most, they claim Mr. Cullum was involved in the planning stages, moving the bodies and burying the remains. Mr. Beasley did not provide any collaborating testimony or observations of the deaths of the two women. Now, we all know that Mr. Beasley has now passed of health reasons, so he's not even alive to be able to come testify in these trials. Here we go. His testimony only described his observation at his property, not collaborating. Any evidence exists to connect Mr. Cullum as an actor causing the death of either woman with malice or afterthought. The testimony at preliminary hearing is insufficient because the testimony must be corroborated as to the particular defendant. And then it quotes Kennedy versus State. In addition, there must be evidence in which of itself and without aid from the accomplice's testimony tends to connect the defendant with the offense committed. And then there's Kennedy versus State. That's a case that they're referring to. The charges of murder in the first degree and conspiracy are insufficient because there is no corroboration. The credibility of co-defendants is key to the sufficiency of evidence analysis. Death penalty cases present well-established precedent that require courts to scrutinize the testimony of co-defendants who inculpate others to preserve their own life. This issue is not new to Oklahoma. This year, the United States Supreme Court overturned the death sentence and conviction of Richard Glossop. Mr. Glossop was erroneously convicted when his co-defendant minimized his own involvement and redirected blame to Mr. Glossop. The co-defendant, Justin Sneed, only avoided the death penalty because he entered an agreement with the prosecution to testify. Mr. Sneed admitted to beating the victim to death. So too here. Mr. Grice admitted to stabbing both Miss Butler and Miss Kelly. Mr. Grice's testimony and actions align with Mr. Sneed, and Mr. Grice placed blame on others to avoid the death penalty. Miss Twombly also admitted to working with Miss Adams to plan the. What did Tiffany do? Well, I believe that she might have even used the taser to get Veronica, because remember Paul Grice. Veronica was getting away from Paul Grice, and Paul Grice was hollering for help. And Cora went to the vehicle and got the taser, but I thought she gave it to Tiffany. Now, while Veronica was on the ground, she ran around laughing and acting crazy. But Paul was busy with Veronica, but somehow Jillian got put in that trailer. They don't know exactly what Tiffany or Tad did. Nobody can physically say what happened there. Exactly, but Tad and Tiffany is the ones that had something to do with Jillian, and that's how she got in the trailer. The deaths of Miss Butler and Miss Kelly. Miss Adams, Miss Twombly, and Mr. Grice created plan happened. The women died. Yet Miss Twombly managed to avoid the death penalty when she chose to cooperate and speak with the OSBI. In the Glossop case, Mr. Sneed also avoided the death penalty after planning and killing another person. The Supreme Court vacated Mr. Glossop's conviction because the co-defendant later recanted, and the prosecution did not comply with its obligation to correct the false testimony. Here, the prosecution, Mr. Grice, and Ms. Twombly disclosed the agreement, but the parallels in the Glossop and this matter cannot be ignored. In 2021, Governor Kevin Stitt commuted Julius Jones' death sentence following the Oklahoma pardon and the parole board's recommendation for commutation. Mr. Jones' conviction rested heavily on the testimony of his co-defendant, Christopher Jordan Bush Estate. Mr. Jordan entered a plea agreement to avoid the death penalty in exchange for his testimony inculpating Julius Jones. The Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals denied Mr. Jones' claim for the insufficient evidence, but the nation-state pardon and parole board and Governor Stitt doubted the integrity of Mr. Jones' conviction. Anytime a person incapacitates another to avoid the death penalty, they are inherently biased and unreliable. Mr. Grice and Ms. Twombly's testimony in akin to Mr. Jordan's testimony directing blame at Julius Jones. Listen, she's making noise, okay?
Sorry.
Their testimony does not present sufficient evidence for this case to proceed because the testimony has no value. The opportunity to avoid the death penalty through deals with the prosecutor is like no other. The agreement is coercive per se and immediately puts any following testimony in doubt. Close scrutiny of co-defendant testimony is critical in cases where the prosecution voices intent to file a bill of particulars because all too often innocent people are. There's 22 pages. That's what's taking so long. And she's not being rolled out. I'm hanging shit on her. Innocent people are convicted and sentenced to death solely because a co-defendant blames another to avoid punishment. The evidence at the preliminary hearing is insufficient to support counts 4 through 7 because Mr. Cullum was under duress. Evidence is sufficient when a defendant actions or as a result of duress. A person is entitled to assert duress as a defense if that person committed a prohibited act or omission because of reasonable belief that there was immediate danger of death or great bodily harm from another upon oneself, one's spouse, or one's child. Duress is not a defense to first-degree murder. Yet, duress is a defense to counts 4 through 7. Mr. Grice testified he held Mr. Cullum at gunpoint when Mr. Cullum opened the door to the trailer. Immediately after Mr. Grice stated the two men transported the women's remains and buried them into a freezer. Mr. Cullum did not have an opportunity to escape, and Mr. Grice did not indicate Mr. Cullum was armed when he was held at gunpoint. No. Paul Grice stabbed Veronica before putting in the trailer. There's no way he was able to do Jillian. No way. So that was Tad or Tiffany on the Jillian part. Mr. Grice acknowledged. Mr. Cullum froze and was silent because he was afraid. No scenario is more definitive of duress than a person held at gunpoint and forced to act. So now Tad's attorney is trying to say that Paul Grice had held Tad Cullum at gunpoint to make him run the skidster and bury the hole and put the women in the freezer. Conclusion, here we go. Dismissal of this matter is appropriate pursuant to 22 OS 504.1 because the co-defendant's biased testimony was not corroborated. The prosecution relies on the testimony of unreliable witnesses who entered into agreement to avoid the death penalty and preserve their own lives. The testimony of Mr. Grice and Ms. Twombly has no value and results in insufficient evidence because their statements are induced through their agreements to avoid the death. In addition, the evidence is insufficient because the testimony supports Mr. Cullum was under duress and held at gunpoint when the remains were buried. Oklahoma case law and statutes support dismissal. Prayer for release. Wherefore, Defendant Tad Cullum respectfully requests this court grant this motion to quash, finding that the prosecution failed to provide sufficient evidence to support the counts listed in the information. Okay, that was it on that. Let me go back to you guys. Let me see here. How's everybody doing? Hopefully I still got you here. Also, I want to pull this one. Hold on. I want to read something to you. They agreed on, the judge allowed 3 orders. It's okay, Black Opal, that's why we're talking about it. Okay, all counsel announced ready to proceed as to the 3 motions, applications filed by the state, limited above. The court heard the argument of counsel. As to the motion to quash the subpoena, Duces Tecum, issued to the Texas County Sheriff, the same is granted. The court orders hereon as to the access of defendant's counsel to jail calls renders the subpoena moot. Okay. As to the motion to allow all defense counsel access to the jail calls, client and co-defendants, the same is granted in part and denied in part. This deals with jail calls and text. The court agreed that, and at this time, Defendant Paul Grice and Defendant Cora Twombly are in the posture of witness for the state. They are not granted access to other co-defendants' jail calls, Texas. The defendant, Adams, is only ordered access, only ordered access to the other co-defendants' jail calls, Texas, until the time of her sentencing hearing in January and not after that date. The court also clarified that this order does not cover any calls with counsel or other privileged communications. Attorneys for Grice and Cora Twombly had no objection to the court's order. Attorneys for defendant Adams were not present. The court then took up the state's application for order allowing return of certain items of personal property. The court asked all defendants' counsel present. They all denied the need for any of the items in the application or the need to inspect the items and agreed the order could enter. Attorneys for Tiffany Adams were not present but had previously agreed. The court ordered that the time of personal property, the items, the court ordered
that the items of personal property listed in the state's application, along with a straw hat, an air compressor, and an air compressor hose, and a pair of binoculars, could be released by the state of Oklahoma. State to prepare the journal entries and court orders. So we're going to go on. Let's see here. Let me get to chat and see what you guys say and make sure we're covering everything. And that was okay. Yes, my dog could write a better brief. I agree with you. That's what I kind of thought about Jillian. So Tad told everyone he had dug the hole to help Beasley, and then it was everyone else's idea to use the hole to bury the ladies. Give me a break. I agree with you. Christopher says, I'm going to start a writing career. This would make a great How to Not Commit Murder. I agree. Black Opal says, got to jog the memory. I do remember Grice said Granny did the happy dance around Veronica after her last breath. Yep. And one law says, since not married, the NOLO was a loophole to keep Granny from testifying against Tad. Exactly, because she would have had to testify. But Buddy Leach didn't even make it to where she had to testify. It's just horrible. I find it to be just horrible. Okay, here we go. Fun. We just did that. Let me fast forward this till we start talking about the other ones. Copies of I'm running off my hotspot. Okay, that's true. Before, but he's boring. Yeah, I think he's boring too. Okay, I was reading chat, catching up with chat earlier today. Did the Panhandle got the same job? Makes no sense to me. Oh, you know him personally. Okay. I've not heard anything good about Kevin McIntyre at all. Could they not get any DNA off the deceased? Oh, I think they got tons of DNA. But nobody can point Tiffany and Tad that taking care of Jillian Kelly. That's the problem. Nope. Been silent for an hour. What? Who's been silent? Don't tell me I was muted. I'll quit. I will quit right now if I was silent. I'm just gonna tell you that. Beach Baby says, don't worry about me. That's you, Rock. Rhonda says,
family member of Veronica Butler's, leading to raw emotion in the courtroom. I talked to Veronica Butler's mom after court got out, and she said the best way for people to honor these two Christian women is to pray for those involved for redemption, forgiveness, and salvation. This was probably one of the most emotional days I've seen in court, including from the suspects. The way the courtroom was set up, Cole and Cora Twombly were across the room, but staring directly at each other. When Cole came in and sat down, he locked eyes with Cora, and the two shared what appeared to be a secret smile. I could see Cora clasping her hands together under the desk. She also showed more emotion today when Cole was pleading, wiping tears away from her eyes, than when she testified and described the murders of Veronica and Jillian. I also talked to another family member of Veronica Butler's in court today. They said they are also trying to find forgiveness, not just for the five suspects, so that they themselves can also find peace. The biggest takeaways from today is that a trial date is now set for Tad Cullum and Cole Twombly for mid to late 2026. Tiffany Adams already had a sentencing date set for January of next year. Another decision made by the judge, the attorneys for Tad, Cole, and Tiffany Adams can have access to all the phone calls and text messages from all of the suspects. The DA for Texas County, Oklahoma.
did it stop? My other one, why is it stopped? I'm here. Can you hear me? What happened with the...
Said there's about $30,000 worth of calls that have been made. Also, property is
pleaded not guilty. Two of the
I don't know why it's stopping. Because the live earlier played it. I don't know why it would be stopping. You're not silent? I wasn't silent? This is crazy. I don't know why the live stopped. Says it's still got a connection. That's weird. Anyway, that was just a live from Julia Thatcher. But let me see what else we went over. Oh, and then Christopher got off the county.
Yeah.
I've always wondered why. Why didn't? Oh, here's me and Christopher's conversation.
Can have access to all the phone calls and text messages from all of the suspects. The DA for Texas County, Oklahoma.
All right. For some reason, it don't seem like we covered everything that we went over today. That's weird. You stopped it there? Okay. Let's see here. Oh, I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to come up and talk about this. Again, I'm not an attorney. And actually, okay, for some reason, maybe I can just, hold on. I think I can do it this way. And I'll just read it again. I went over it earlier, but I'll just read it. Hold on. Let's see here. Let me pull it up here. And then you can actually see these papers. Oh, maybe I can't. Defendant's motion for specific discovery. We already went over that. Okay, I'm back. Let me drop the link. I'm getting so confused at what I went by earlier. So did I skip some stuff? It was in that live, so I just feel like the whole live didn't play. It's weird. Am I the only one that feels like the whole live didn't play? Wait a minute. The paperwork with the Brady Giglio. I didn't hear me replay that. Of course, I'm going to tell you the truth. This is from earlier, like I said. And I did dishes. I cooked supper. I did dishes. All while this live was playing, and I'd come in and click in for you guys. Hey, Christopher.
You stopped it there. We had a little break when we did it before. And then we went back and watched it. So yeah, it did. That was just the last part.
Okay. Well, I don't. Like I was just saying, you was up here, so I don't know if you heard it. While this was playing, I went ahead and cooked supper. I already did dishes just now. But when I just replayed this, did I repeat? Read the documents that said about the Brady Giglio and stuff like that? Because I didn't hear it when I was over there doing dishes, but maybe it did.
I think it was after that, I thought, but I'm not sure.
That's weird.
Yeah, I went
back
and
the Brady Giglio is brought up in the court papers.
Yeah, well, I went back and reread them all while we were off, and
give us your opinion.
Yeah, well, I can say he's definitely. I mean, this is like having a fiction writer write your escape plan for him, because he's just using what they said against him and using it all as. I mean, it wasn't Tad. It was Tad that stopped there to let him drive the truck so he could take the thing. They had that planned of going to get the skid steer right away. It wasn't like he forced him to do it. That was part of the plan.
It was part of the plan, but he did pull a weapon on him as soon as they got to Beasley because he was scared.
Yeah, he was freaked out because he said someone was opening the door and he'd been in there, just got done stabbing Julian and all that stuff, and he was freaked out, which, I don't think it was like any threat. Here, you do this, but actually, this is like a textbook write-up to give this guy a reason for not doing anything. And
one of us cut out. Are you still there? Can you guys hear me? Did we just lose Christopher? Okay, I'm gonna.
Probably so.
Okay, there you are. There you are.
Well,
I don't. Bryce didn't hold a gun on Tad and say, "Drive that skister, fill in that hole, put these women in the freezer." That didn't happen.
It was all Tad's idea of doing all this. He's the one that had the plan made out and everything. So, I mean, you don't go the night before and dig the hole or how it may have been 2 days before he was down there digging that hole. I don't even know for sure it was
They,
just the
they
night.
said he did it the day before.
Yeah, like I say, but you know what I'm saying? He'd already made the excuse of he was going to probably bury Beasley's freezer or refrigerator. You know, there's been
But
lots
we
of
never heard about another fridge in there, ever.
Mm-mm.
That's
No,
not what was said that was found in that hole.
it was concrete, and that was it. That's all I
Well, and
seen.
the clothes,
Yeah, and the clothes, but you
and
know
the
what I'm
stun
saying?
guns. Yeah, there
Yeah,
was stuff in the hole, but there wasn't Beasley's fridge. Listen, I thought all the way from way back that Beasley knew some stuff. I still
I
do.
believe. I know he did, and he was at the site that night. You know, he knew it when they pulled in there.
Yeah,
He
he
knew
met
it.
him. Paul Grice said that he pulled up to the trailer. And do
Yeah,
you remember? I don't even remember where it came from, but I Grice or Beasley supposedly told OSBI that he wasn't even home. He was at the casino, didn't go home till 4:35 in the
casino.
morning,
Exactly. That
and
was
that
the
he
whole.
was sleeping. But then Paul Grice's testimony said that Beasley pulled right up to the trailer.
Got caught in 3 or 4 lies.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
right.
don't think. Yes, Paul Grice lied about a lot of things, but I don't think he's lying now. I really don't. He has no reason to.
No, I don't think. I don't think his whole ending to this is, wrong or anything like that. And he really is putting it out there. But his lack of witness ability is giving Tad an escape route. But it's you're not going to stop the conspiracy on him. I mean,
Uh-uh.
because he was the one that was the final thing saying this is what we're going to do, or you get this, and we're going to do this, and he even ordered the bale of hay, everything. That was
But
all his.
the thing is, and you know as well as I do, to be charged with first degree murder, there's certain things that
Yeah.
has to come into play.
Yep.
Do they got enough evidence on Tad for first degree murder? Now,
No.
Black Opal says, how could they not have enough DNA? That's impossible. Julian would have, at the very least, have a hair strand or skin from Tad. I would have thought, especially how advanced the science is now. The problem with that is he could say he got DNA on her, and his DNA on her, and hers on him, carrying her to the trailer.
Right.
I think he's
There's
going to try to get out of the first degree murder. I don't think he'll walk on everything unless they go for first degree murder and can't prove everything that
Right.
makes it first degree murder. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
don't
not
think
an
they.
attorney.
I don't think they got enough to hold him on that, being nobody actually seen him do her, and so realistically, he would just have the conspiracy charge. Is the main thing he'd have, But
Right?
they're dropping it on Granny. That doesn't make sense. You can't charge everybody else if you're dropping it on the mastermind. They're giving them ways out of every one of these charges.
Absolutely.
Different ones are getting this and dropped, and this and here dropped, and the whole thing is Cole, or what do you say? The woman.
Cora.
Cora, she should have a conspiracy charge big time, because she was involved in talking to everybody,
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I say, they're giving different ones breaks on, so there ain't gonna be nobody have a conspiracy charge, and there's several other things that you're seeing ways out of. I mean, like I say, I'm pretty sure that DNA come back with Julian had Tad's DNA on her, and then Veronica had Paul's, is what I was thinking. I don't remember what that exact pile was, but it was something that they come back at. It was the autopsy.
Right.
And
But
then,
Tad and Paul Grice loaded them in the freezer. So both of them, it took both of them. So they're going to have both the girls' DNA on them, and the girls are going to have both of their DNA, Paul and Tad's DNA on Jillian and Veronica. I
right.
would think.
Well, I think actually at the Barry site, I think they just used the skid steer to load both of them. Or at least her.
Yes, Lavender, he did, but he also, if Lavender says, if I remember right, didn't Beasley say Tad and Granny has gone and talked to him about cutting down a tree and clearing the area? He also said, according to what we read today, that he had a fridge that was all beat up and didn't work no more,
and that Tad was going to put that fridge in a hole. But nobody's ever told us that there was a fridge in that damn hole.
No, there wasn't.
But that was in the paperwork today. We read it.
Mm-hmm. Sure was.
Absolutely. I want to show you something. I just looked this up. I haven't even looked at it, so we're all going to look at it together. But I asked what the difference is in Oklahoma for first-degree murder and second-degree murder, and I'm going to read it. In Oklahoma, the main difference between first-degree and second-degree murder is the presence of premeditation and the intent to kill. First-degree murder involves a malice, forethought, and premeditation, a deliberate intent to kill, or occurs during a violent felony. Second-degree murder involves killing without premeditation, but with a malice or reckless intent, or during the commission of a felony. Now, what if they can't prove, the DA, what if they can't prove that Tad actually knew all this was going on?
I don't see no way out of it.
I wouldn't see no way out either.
There ain't no way. I'm telling you, he's just looking for anything, because I agree with, I was over listening to Kerry, and they said that they think that his lawyer is just trying to get as good a plea bargain as he can by fighting and putting all this in there, which makes sense.
I would have absolutely said that is possible, other than the fact we watched what happened with Casey Anthony. And if they try to overcharge and they cannot prove it, come on.
No, I agree. That's for sure. I mean, I know it can be that way. We'll see, I guess, if he all of a sudden throws a plea in there.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, his attorney is one of the top attorneys in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Miskell is ranked really high up there. I don't know who did the court papers and did everything so wrong, and the spelling was wrong, and absolutely the victim's name is wrong. That's horrible.
Right. Yeah, was that all typed up, or was it handwritten?
It's all typed up. It's the journal entries. They're part of the court now. Like, they're gonna have to go redact that and redo it and get the right damn name on there, because family members are gonna want the right name. I know every time I type in Jillian on my phone, it'll change it to Julian, and I have to catch it. Otherwise, mine will say Julian, but it don't say Tiffany Kelly. I mean, that's a big screw up.
Yeah.
They need to fix it. Absolutely. Let's see. Who was supposed to have thrown the vice off the back of the truck? Dad was. But he's saying that that's not true. They never practiced it, and he never said that he didn't know any of it. That's just other people saying, "Hey, Journey." That's just other people saying he knew.
But I remember that ain't what CW said.
Right.
She said that they were practicing out there or whatever. Well, I don't know whether they said that she's seen it, but I know that they talked about it, that they were supposed to be practicing.
Well, in the testimony, of course, she said that they were out there and Tiffany was there and told them what to do to practice, and she left, and so none of them practiced it. That came from, I don't know that it came from CW. It came from,
that come from Cora? Okay, I didn't remember that in the chorus part, but it was in CW's.
Right. We're just gonna have to wait and see, but I find it just really, his attorney, like we said today, is doing her job. Her job is to get him up. He could sit right there tomorrow and say, "I did all this."
Yeah.
She still has to represent him, and she has to do it knowing if he told her, it wouldn't make no difference. She still has to represent him and try to get him off. That's her job.
It's what can they prove? And he's definitely doing the right thing. He's keeping his mouth shut, so he ain't getting nothing. No stupid breaks or no stupid incrimination. You keep your mouth shut. They can't prove it. They can't prove it. You already got all this evidence, and you got all these people talking. He just needs to go down with his mouth shut, and I bet he does get the best deal.
Okay, one law wants to know, could it be written wrong on purpose? Surely his legal secretary is not that incompetent. I know. And you know what? It was shared in Discord, so I didn't copy it because I'm not at home. We came to Stillwater to do this rally. But I went back to Discord and it's not there. Somebody erased it. So it would take me, I got to go and with my phone and screenshot all 22 pages to move it to where I could show it. And I can't. I just can't. So I might
Right.
have to do it another day on that because I feel like I didn't cover it all. Like I cut it off somewhere.
You want me to fire it back at you?
Yeah.
I could do that.
Well, no, because it won't do that. It has to be an iPhone. Because listen, the way the Mac computer works,
Mm.
I have to go in and I have to label it. But when I label it a certain name, it won't bring it up. So I usually put it in Discord so I can click on it and it'll show up on this Google Chrome so I can click on it.
Mhm.
I don't know how to explain it, but it was in Discord, but now it's erased. So I'm going to have to get it moved back to Discord.
I
And
didn't.
I
I
just
don't
tried to
like
do
that.
it from my phone and move it back to Discord as the whole group, and it won't let me. I'm going to have to go in and do all 22 pages. So
Right.
I don't know. I don't know where it went, but it was in Discord. And that's, I had it all set up here to go and click on it in Discord and let you guys see. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me
Yeah,
pull up the
I
thing.
seen it where you'd posted it to YouTube yesterday or
Right.
whatever. And I was able to pull it up and get more magnification out of it, so I could read a little easier.
It's so hard on a phone. It's so hard. I feel you because it is hard.
Yes, you
It's
just
hard
can't
to
get.
see it. Okay. Thank you to the person that just sent it back to me. They put it back in Discord for me. So hold on.
I got a question.
Hold on. Hold on. I can't lose my thought right now.
That was probably your assistant producer that did that.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and talk.
Me?
No, no, no. Journey, welcome up. Sorry. I'm getting sidetracked. I'm not used to trying to do 20 different things at once. I got to focus on this.
Yeah. No, that's all right. I was just letting you talk. I just came up just in case, you needed my help.
Well, yeah, you're my producer. My producer, listen. Yes, earlier
Listen.
today, and even when it was just sent just now, when I click on it, it wants me to name every file, and it's not going to bring it up. I know it's not. I don't know. I've got to figure out how that person sent it earlier today to where I can actually click on it in the Discord and show it to everybody. Right now, it's making me try to do each screen. Let's see here if it works.
Or
It's 22 pages long. This might work. Let me see here. And go back and listen to the live from earlier, guys, because I
Yeah,
know
I
we
did.
went over every bit of it earlier.
Yeah, we did.
Absolutely. Okay. Here was his defendant's motion to quash and brief in support. And I did read that. I did read that tonight, but I want to show you guys.
woo woo, she did it.
I did.
Yeah.
You are good.
I don't know about that, but this is everything that I did read earlier. This is 22 pages, but I want you guys to see where they call her Tiffany Kelly.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was on the 7th page, I think.
You know what you could do when you need to get something real quick? Just jot the page down and then highlight it and leave it all highlighted.
Right. I don't think that it could cause a mistrial by any means, but I do
No.
think when it's brought to the judge's attention, he will make it be corrected. They
Yeah,
got to
but
have the correct name.
I'm watching a trial, right? And this woman's name, she's got 3 different names, and they're calling her all 3 names in the trial. Because
Oh,
that's what she's known as. They don't know what to call
but
her.
a high-priced attorney's office, you would think wouldn't make that kind of mistake.
Yeah, they got paralegals to double check before they print anything up and all that.
You know what somebody could do is call the clerk up, call the clerk up and say, hey, you've made some mistakes in that. Is that
Well,
deliberate?
the clerk didn't make the mistakes.
They just copied them in. Yeah.
They
That's
pasted
how
and
it-
copied it?
Yeah, he's going to put whatever was handed to him or them in it, you know.
Okay, no. Let me correct that. This is the
Oh.
paperwork for the quash hearing that Tad's attorney, so his legal aid or whoever is the one that messed up.
Yeah,
Not
it
the
ain't
courts. Not the
court.
courts.
Oh, so it's probably his lawyer's secretary
whoever does
Right.
all this.
And
Totally.
honestly, this hearing's going to be in
Oh.
January, okay? So
Mm.
the judge will probably catch it. The judge will probably
Right.
catch it when they read it in January.
Yeah, and
Right.
when you're in court, they do say there's some misspelling there. Can you correct it? And then the judge's clerk will correct.
Well, such a high-priced attorney, they probably just need to redo it and put the right shit in. But I'm trying to find it because it says it a lot.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on that one.
I mean-
thought it was page 7 is what I thought it was, but
When they named her wrong the first time, they did it again and again and again. You think they'd get it right the second time. You know, how many mistakes do you have to make along the way? And it's only her name, right? It's
Mhm.
only
Yeah.
her name. No, there's not much any other mistakes, really, is there?
mm-mm.
Just her name.
You know, what if they watched my live earlier and they went and corrected it? Because this is saying Jillian Kelly, but I'm still looking. I know it said Tiffany Kelly. I know for a fact in many places.
Yeah, because, you know, they do watch YouTubes and listen to people, what they got to say, and they go, oh, I made a mistake. Okay, I better go correct that.
Well, not only that, the link was shared in the Discord, and now the link's gone. So
I was reading earlier.
it's so weird. I don't know.
No, but why is it gone?
Wrong several times. You know?
When you're in Discord, right, it's your Discord. You're the only one that can take it down, or anybody can take
Anybody
it down.
can
Oh,
take-
okay.
take their own stuff down, and plus there's mods in there too, but
Oh.
nobody takes stuff down.
They can take their own stuff down, but if you post something, they can't take your stuff down, right?
Right, right.
what
But
you
they
mean?
can take their own down.
Yeah.
But what I'm
yeah.
saying is it was a link
Oh.
to the OSCN, and it very well could have been a link that, you know, everything's electronic.
That
Okay? I'm
expired.
not even going to try to guess, but they could have said, "Hey, we did this wrong. Delete that one and let me send the right one," and then it would be a whole new link. I don't know.
The
see
link
what I'm saying?
expired. Yeah, they canceled the
Yeah.
link.
Kind of like when you are watching a YouTube channel and
Yeah.
you share it to somebody, it works until if they go back and make it private, then it don't work no more. Does that make sense?
Could AI
Unless you got
undo
the link for it. If you got the link for it, you can still see it. The ones that
Okay.
got the link for it.
Say you shared my YouTube channel and I deleted that live. When somebody clicked on it, it wouldn't be there because it's gone. Because when you
Yeah.
even share it on your channel, it goes straight to my channel. So if I remove it, you
Yeah.
wouldn't see it. It'd be gone.
If you removed it, but if you
Right.
made it
Okay, so I'm
private
gonna say they
or
removed it.
something,
They
they
realized
can
they
still
screwed
see
up.
it.
They realized they
Yeah.
screwed up. They removed it and
Yeah.
corrected the name. And could be the new one. I don't know. But I know I read Tiffany Kelly in many spots. So just have to
Yeah,
take my
you
word for
did.
it. You did.
Yeah, we took your word for it, and that's it.
Well, it really was there.
Well,
I'm
we can
telling
read-
you.
Believe her, I'm the producer.
It
She's
says it-
only reading what she sees.
I'm sorry you cut out, Journey.
I said, I am the producer, and Rock, when she reads something, she reads it as she sees it.
That's right. That's right.
No hallucinations, nothing.
That's right.
I know it was there.
Straight
I
up.
seen it.
Yeah,
And
and
he
where I'm
said-
at right now, this is where Beasley talks about his fridge.
No.
Where they said
Man.
Beasley had a fridge. Mr. Beasley had a refrigerator sitting by the door, and he asked Mr. Cullum to move it across the driveway. Mr. Cullum told Mr. Beasley he would dig a hole and bury the fridge. Now, I'd never heard that till I read it today about Mr. Beasley's fridge. Have you? Because
No.
everything I've seen never said that. So that's new. That's new to
They
me.
never even acknowledged Beasley being around the property.
Right.
before this.
He was gone. He was at the casino, is what we thought. That's what we were told.
Yeah, he was supposed to have been gone all day. Didn't get home till late.
Yeah. Good place to go, isn't it, for a good alibi?
Oh, I guess, but not when you're at the place.
That's right.
Seen right,
That's
there
right.
when they pulled up with the bodies in the trailer. That's what they put him in the same area as the bodies were before they buried
And he's
him.
gone now. And he's
Yeah.
deceased now.
Yeah, now none of that could be. Or say no rebuttal testimony there.
I agree.
Take what he said.
Yeah, I say though that definitely closed, or I should say, opened a lot of doors there.
Okay, here it is. Here it is. It might have started on 16. Here's 17.
Despite claiming to cooperate with OSBI, he continued to minimize his involvement and was dishonest about his role in the death of Tiffany Kelly. Perhaps they'll sage his conscience. Mr. Grice manufactured a story to protect himself. And then it said it more than once. They kept saying Tiffany Kelly.
hmm
There it is. So it's not corrected. So
No. Yeah, you guys thinking there was somebody already in there correcting it? That ain't happening.
well, because it was gone out of Discord.
I know.
So I was like, well, that's possible. I know what happens with the YouTube link if it gets deleted. It's gone.
Was this Beasley character older?
Yeah, I can say though he definitely.
How old
I
was
mean-
Beasley? He wasn't very old. I don't remember how old exactly he was. I'd have to look at
He
it.
was around 50. That's what I think he was.
We'll say around 50, yeah.
What I was thinking he was.
Well, Journey's asking me questions, and I
Justified.
or justified. Sorry, Journey. I'm all over the place tonight.
Everybody wants to be me though.
Don't ask too many questions.
That's right. I'm already having anxiety because, man, having to pack everything back up on the bus and make sure everything's right. That's what we got to do in the morning. So it always gives me anxiety.
Just don't worry about it until the morning.
I know.
Nothing you can do.
Right there.
There's nothing you can do about it till you wake up and do it.
Kelly, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Hey, is that justified?
It is. It is.
Hey, how you doing tonight,
He's
girl?
looking on the screen, and you guys know that there's a big lax between my live and the screen.
Yeah.
So I thought you would stay until Saturday. You're not staying
He
until
was
Saturday?
going to, but now we decided they didn't get, how do I say this? They didn't go get a
Permit.
permit for Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And they're not, if they don't get it tomorrow, then we might as well leave.
Yeah.
There's no sense of staying. And it's $50 a night, when we could go ahead and head back.
Right.
What do you get for $50 a night? Do you get hookups and water?
Yeah.
Toilet?
Yeah. It's got everything.
And
Sewer,
internet. Crap
and
internet.
the internet, but the internet sucks. I'm on my hotspot because the internet sucks so bad.
Does it have like showers and bathrooms or no?
It does. It's clear across
Oh, it
the way
does.
though, but yeah, it does.
Oh, well, that's good for $50 a night. That's pretty cheap. If there's a few of you there, you can share the cost. Can't you?
Yeah, yeah.
$50
Again, this
is
is
not-
OSU. It's a college town, so when there's games, this
Mm,
spot here is $100 a night.
is
If
it?
Right.
somebody's there for a football game,
Yeah, like peak times,
but that beats $400 for a hotel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
one
why
law
you
says
took
too
it.
bad. One law says too bad Beasley is not around to be called as a witness. That's correct. Anyway,
Yeah.
go on, Journey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's no rebuttal there.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
We'll never know the truth of who was lying.
And the defense can't question him or the state can't question him. So it doesn't really. They only got his testimony, what he had said, because they did interview him. So they got that. They
Right.
did interview him.
Yeah. So, girly girl, you're right. That's how I've always seen it to be done too. That they have to amend it and correct it. That's what I would think would happen in Kansas when mistakes was made in my legal paperwork. The lawyer had to file an amendment. Yep, and redo it.
Yeah. He has to fix it.
That's right. One law. It will be trial before we see the prosecutor's case in chief, unless they don't bother. Yeah, there's a whole lot going on. And we still don't know what OSBI did. We don't know exactly what the evidence is that they have. They might have enough to charge Tad with first-degree murder. But we know that Paul Grice said he was busy with Veronica and he didn't see Jillian until she was already in the trailer. He didn't even see her get out of the car.
Right.
So he cannot pinpoint Tiffany or Tad, whoever unalived Jillian. And then, he was freaking out and her eyes were fluttering and he stabbed her a couple times. So they're trying to say he's the only one that stabbed anybody, is what they're trying to say.
Yeah. And it's a he, she said so.
Yeah.
He said, she said, and they're like, the evidence will show something, you know. The evidence will show something. They're trip up on something when being questioned, you know.
There's
They're
a
gonna
lot of
slip
that.
up on something.
But we have to be aware of the good buddy system. And any decent DA and attorneys already know about Brady Giglio. They
Mhm.
also know about Casey Anthony and how she walked. So I would think that they're going to do their due diligence and get it all done. Get it done right. If they're going to try to charge him with the death penalty and first degree murder, they they should have all the evidence to prove that first degree murder, and they might.
Yeah.
But their main witness, Paul Grice, couldn't say who killed Jillian. We all know who did it because Grice was busy. He couldn't do both.
No, it's up to the jury and it's up to the state to prove their case. That's it.
And in fairness to the DA, we don't know what all they got. We just know what we read in Paul Grice's, and he didn't see how Jillian got in that trailer.
They
Unalive.
don't let everything out. No, they've got something, and they don't tell us everything. They're not going to tell everybody their case because that'd be like,
Right, that's why I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But if they don't have
yeah,
it, they might have to go with a lesser charge, but still something that's going to get him life in prison.
Yeah. The conspiracy would get enough to get him that.
You would think, yeah.
Should.
and when they go to trial at when they're both done, they both rested, then they go through the charges and lesser charges, and you know they go all for that. So sometimes they bring in another charge of another lesser charge. Yeah, we'll have to see at the end what happens, what they're going to charge. You know, what the jury got, you know, what have they got? First degree, second degree, manslaughter, you know, some lesser charge, you know. I have to wait and see. I don't think they're going for the death penalty. They haven't said they're going for the
They
death
are
penalty.
going. They are going for the death penalty. Yeah, for both
Yeah,
of
but
them.
has he been indicted for the death penalty yet? Like formal?
The
That's
DA
what-
already filed the charges to charge them both with the death penalty. Yeah.
That was the hearing they
Oh, so
just
they've
had.
been in court. I said if they've been
Yeah.
in court and formally. Okay.
Yes. That was what the
So-
court, that was what the whole hearing was them
So-
to plea.
Oh,
Right. I
oh,
want to
right.
read this.
So they
I
did
looked,
it all then. Okay.
Yes.
I looked up to see what kind of charge constitutes a death penalty in Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, a
Uh-huh.
death penalty can be charged for first degree murder when certain aggravating circumstances are present, such as the murder being committed for money, being extremely heinous, or being
Mhm.
committed to prevent a lawful arrest. Additionally, Oklahoma allows for the death penalty
Oh.
for lewd molestation against a child under 12 under a new law, and for other specific crimes like treason and genocide at the federal level. I just wanted to look up because every state is different
Mm.
on what Oklahoma required for the death penalty.
So what they've got them on is the heinous crime of it. The
Right.
heinous part.
But nobody
It's-
can prove right now, unless
Mm.
the DA's got it, that Tad did the heinous crime. Yeah, he buried them, but who did the actual crime to the two women? They're trying to blame Paul Grice. That's what I see going on.
Yeah, because that was brutal. That was brutal.
And I could be completely wrong too. I don't trust Buddy Leach either, not a bit. I still want to know how he was appointed by the governor because the other DA got sick. That was 5 years ago, and there's still not been an election for the DA, and they have to be elected. Remember, Christopher? We went over it earlier.
Yep.
How's he still the DA when they've never had an election for him to run for election? Governor Stitt appointed him when the other guy was sick, and they just never had an election for him. But the sheriff just had an election not too long ago.
Should have been on the same election.
You would think.
Yep.
So one law says, so far, I don't have any confidence in the system they operate. Me either. Probably misfits too, exactly. Coldwater, Kansas has elected an illegal alien for 16 years and just got caught. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Crazy.
Uh-huh.
Cold
This is
water
crazy.
That was cold water, he said.
Yeah, Coldwater, Kansas.
Really? I used to drill a bunch of wells there. We drilled all around that lake.
Oh, what were
A lot of
you?
oil, a lot of oil in that particular county. Well, we'd
Is
have to
there?
have big, oh yeah. The ones around the lake, they produce oil to the surface. Some of the biggest gas wells in Kansas are in Coldwater.
Ah,
Big pressure. That one, we opened the tool and it was like 30 seconds had oil from 5,000 foot deep to surface. And it was spraying across the reserve pit.
So,
damn.
Christopher, you was watching another channel. What seems to be their take on it? I'm curious.
Really, I did. After I got into all them making up their excuses for why they didn't go, after they was asking for money to go and all that stuff, I bailed. Realistically, they don't have anything more than what somebody else is saying.
Well,
They're just reading.
they do have the family members that go in there now.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know if they talked to them or not, but wasn't anybody there.
Well, and they did defend Kevin McIntyre too. He's a good
Right.
guy. He made a mistake, but he's a good guy. Remember, the other girl was talking to him on the phone and saying how great Kevin McIntyre was.
Yeah,
Sure
like I say,
lost a lot of people from the panhandle over that because people know what Kevin McIntyre is.
I just thought we was going to have an actual eyewitness or something to come out of there, and I stuck my nose in there, and they made excuses for not. So, it's
So
like,
they
okay,
didn't
well,
go?
nope, they didn't go.
Hmm.
They were asking for money to be Venmo to them and to get out to do it, and they didn't even go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's
Well,
why I
we'll just
thought.
have to keep on track of this and keep going over it. And does anybody in the chat have any questions about it? Journey, do you have any questions about it? I mean, you are the producer. I need your help. She must have went to heat up her coffee. She's quiet.
Yeah, on coffee break,
Or she's making some stuff in that rice cooker.
Yeah, it could be. She's got oats in there again.
Oats, and she's cooking cornbread in a rice cooker.
Yeah, I have to check it out. I didn't realize you did all that. When I said rice cooker, I didn't think I ate enough rice to need one.
And I think she has to go upstairs to the microwave to.
I'm back now.
What'd you do? Go heat up your coffee?
Yeah, because I make my coffee and then I put my milk in it, and it's never hot. It's because I like a lot of milk.
Throw it in that rice cooker. It'll heat it right up.
There you go. That's
No,
a
that'll
rice
take me
cooker.
forever to warm that up. Damn.
Yeah, so Beach Baby says,
Did I miss anything?
talking about the other person on that panel, she must love being on drugs over KM, Kevin McIntyre. Yeah,
Right.
people in that area know exactly how messed up he is.
I've been in my car all afternoon. I
What you
only
been
just got
doing?
in. Yeah, when I came on, I only just came. I'm just in my car. It's peaceful.
Nice.
Yeah. Peace.
How many kids does your daughter have?
She got 3 here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd have to go to my car and get some peace too.
Well, no, the 20-year-old, he's upstairs, but he plays video games and he yells.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I can hear him through the, like the vents. And then she's got a daughter, but then she's takes care of her daughter's cousin, which is her daughter's dad's sister. She's taken care of her since she was a baby. She's 11. So it's not her daughter, but it is. Do you know what I mean? She takes care of her. And she's a little bit of a handful. She's getting worse and worse and worse. Now she's skipping out of school. She steals. She lies.
Oh, shit. She's not sounding good.
She's just like her mother. Exactly like her mother. Even though she didn't live with her mother.
So how you feel about the mother?
Huh?
Tell us how you feel about the mother.
She's a nice person. She's a nice person, but she did drugs. So she got her kid not into drugs, but took her to drug houses, getting shot up and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all that bad stuff, right? But she's a nice person. You should lay off the drugs.
That
Oh,
was
wow.
the other thing that popped in there today. Was Tad being accused of being a regular drug user, and thought we'd even gone to what you say believing Wrangler maybe his mom wasn't doing drugs. I'm betting you money they were all on drugs.
I think so too.
There
They
ain't
look like
nobody.
it. They sure look like it.
Sure is. They ain't gonna convince me there wasn't, and I bet you money it was all involved with all of them.
Now I'm looking right now while you're talking. I'm gonna look up and see the exact date of Tiffany's hearing or her sentencing in January, and then they got the squash hearing for Tad.
Yeah, 3 days later or something like that.
Yeah, I wanted to look at the exact date of what it was because I don't remember.
I think it was the 20th or something, 21st.
He is going January 23rd, a Friday. January 23rd is the hearing on that motion.
And hers is the 21st or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
look.
sentencing.
I go over a lot of stuff and I don't want to get the dates wrong.
Right.
But
I
they
think
are
that's-
very close because I was
Yeah.
talking to Lavender about it.
Yeah.
But I will sit down and shoot an email to that attorney because they got to go fix that. That's not fair. That's
Yeah,
horrible.
that was too much. That was too much. Too much mistakes.
Especially for somebody that's deceased, and Tiffany did, planned it all. They damn
Yeah,
sure
it's,
don't want that name in front of their good last name.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's what I mean. That's an insult kind of thing.
Yes, it's a big deal.
Oh,
Yeah, hers is
justice.
January 28th.
28th, so it's after theirs, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Only Tad's is going to be on. What did I
On
just
the
say? Tad's was January 20.
23rd or something.
Yeah, which is a
Yeah.
Friday, and they usually only have Wednesday court there for them.
Right.
It's kind of weird. Let's go ahead and look up Cole's while we're here. See, because I have not looked at his. Been busy with Tad stuff.
Yeah, you got a lot there to handle.
Yeah, it was a lot. I'll tell you, it was a lot easier, since I read it today instead of reading it again. It was a lot easier to play that live from today.
Yeah. That's what you can do. You've made a live, just replay the live.
I know I don't ever do that though. I usually just try to do it again. Let's see what's put
Yeah,
in.
she was off
Well,
cooking supper.
If you
Yeah.
got new docs, read them. But if not, just go by your live that you did, and then just update as you go, as you're playing it and stopping it.
on the
Save
on the OSCN. Remember,
Murphy.
Julia Thatcher said one of them is June 1st. Their trial starts, and then the other one's October 19th because that's my daughter's birthday. So I remember it being October 19th. If
Right.
you're looking right here, what I'm showing you, this is supposed to be up to date. They haven't put it in the system yet on their trial dates. It's not here.
October the 19th. That's my brother's kid's
Yeah,
birthday.
this is Cole's right here. See, Cole's. And the last thing they have on there is their arraignment yesterday. They don't have the new trial set up there, but one of them was June 1st and one was October 19th.
Yeah, he's just sitting back praying that they're going to take that plea deal so he don't have to worry about this anymore.
Right. Well, Cole Twombly, nobody can point him to anything other than throwing the clothes in there and
Right.
sitting out four corners looking for police, law enforcement.
Right.
Yeah, but they can still put him there, and he was there. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I think they'll all get charged unless they try to overcharge. That's my thing.
Yeah, he can say what he wants, but he was there.
Does
was
Cole
there.
Twombly's does he got enough to charge him with the
Life
death
or
penalty?
the penalty, yeah.
The death penalty. Or listen, Buddy Leach knows what he's doing, I think. Or did he feel like the family needed to hear at least somebody was going to be charged with the death penalty that didn't take a plea? I don't know. I don't know exactly how that's supposed to work.
I think one of them is probably going to get the death penalty, and the other one's going to get something of the lesser.
Mhm.
What do you say?
That could be.
I don't know. I don't know that I believe it.
When the jury comes back, when the jury comes back, one of them will get the death penalty, and one of them will get a lesser charge.
Now, one thing we
Tad's,
didn't do today, we did not go over Cole's stuff, and I see there's a couple things that's in his stuff. I don't know if it might be what's on your screen right now. I can't tell. But oh no, it's not. Hold on. He's got a couple things here. Okay. So this is State of Oklahoma, Cole Earl Twombly record of proceedings in open court felony on November 5th, 2025. The indicated proceedings occurred. State of Oklahoma presented by George H. Leach and Teo Smith. Recorded by Mary Purdy. I'll see here. Preliminary inquiry and arraignment as to not guilty plea. It's X'd out. Defendant appears in open court in person, and another ex-defendant appears with attorney Belia Lopez. Defendant admitted his true name as charged, stating his age and years. Defendant advised the court that he could read and write. Defendant advised the court that he had not consumed alcoholic beverages or drugs in the last 24 hours and that he understood what was happening. Defendant was advised and understands charges pending against defendant at the time of this arraignment and understands range and nature of punishment as to each charge pending against the defendant. Defendant advised the court that he had received a copy of the information and affirmatively waived reading of the same. Defendant advised the court that he did understand the nature of the charges. Defendant was advised by the court of his constitutional rights, his right to counsel, and if he desired counsel and had no means and was unable to employ counsel, the court would appoint counsel for him without expense to him. Well, he's already got that. Right to a jury trial, right to be confronted by witnesses who would testify against him, right to call witnesses on his behalf at no expense, his privilege against compulsory self-incrimination and consequence of his plea, and right to appeal any judgment of guilt. Defendant affirmatively waived his right to 24 hours in which to plead. Okay. Defendant's counsel advised the court defendant would be standing mute to all charges of the amended information. The court entered a plea of not guilty on behalf of the defendant to the following. On all the charges. I'm not even going to go read it. His case is ordered set for jury trial on October 19th. So that means Tabs is the one that's June 1st.
right.
And they're saying that it's going to take 6 weeks. Right here. For approximately 6 weeks. And bail is denied. Now, let's not forget, CW can testify against Cole. That's not her dad.
Right.
And she can testify against Tad, too. But is everything secondhand information that came from Cora to CW? I don't know how they'll do all that.
Yeah. I don't know either.
You see what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, because it wasn't something they witnessed. It was just
Right.
hearsay.
She didn't witness it. She just was going by what her mom told her.
What she was told. You know, hearsay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can't use hearsay.
Only thing that hearsay was capable of doing was getting them the right to search everywhere and look in deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like allegations, isn't it? So
I was reading this other one that was under Cole's. It's this matter comes on the hearing on state's motion to quash subpoena Deuces Tecum issued to the Texas County Sheriff. State's motion to allow all defense counsel's access to jail calls of client and co-defendant state's property on November 5th, 2025 before the Honorable Judge John K. Parsley. Then it has all the attorneys listed. All counsel announced ready to proceed as to 3 applications filed by the state listed above. And this is what I read from Cole or Tad's. Same thing. Same thing I read about the jail calls.
Right.
30,000 worth of jail calls.
That's
Tiffany's
amazing.
going to get all of them. Tiffany can get everybody's jail calls up to the time that she has her sentencing, is what this says. Tiffany Adams is only ordered access to the other co-defendants' jail calls, texts until the time of her sentencing hearing in January and not after that date.
Right. They're going to have her completely done.
Yeah, she got a sweet deal too, because she don't even have to testify.
Yeah, they're waiting on her PSI and going to be done with her.
Yeah,
She'll
I
have
think
six,
that's shitty
she'll
for the
have 6
family
months
too.
served before they get in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm hoping for the best. That's what I'll say. But I always thought Tap was going to try to bail too. And I'm not off of that either. The way he looks around, I feel like he's always looking for something.
He's looking for a way out.
Okay, let's see here.
Well, he ain't going nowhere now. He's in. No bail for him.
Yeah, Black Opal says they don't call Buddy Leach Buddy for no reason. One Law says, so far I don't have any confidence in the system they operate. Probably Misfits too. We did over that. We did that because she talked about Coldwater. And it's the age. And I don't know where it was, but the court issued orders stopping lawyers from using AI to assist with documents. Oh, I didn't know that. Girly Girl says, I think Cole and Tad will get lesser charges. I think that's a very much a possible.
Guarantee it.
Yeah, I think that's very possible. That's why I was discussing it.
Yeah, I don't think that they got enough to.
For first degree murder, death penalty. I don't know.
Conspiracy. So they need to be putting on him. And it doesn't sound like those charges are even still listed there, are they?
Yeah, they're still
they have
listed. They did take a couple out. No, there's still 7 there. They're still there.
Because he definitely needs a conspiracy charge.
Yeah, for sure. You got to add that one on. Conspiracy, because they were there. They were there.
And he's been talking about it since day one. You know, definitely he was
I think the only thing that they took off is the where Tiffany endangered the kids by having the kids with her when she bought the stun guns and when she bought the burner phones. I think. I don't know.
No, they took conspiracy off.
And the straps.
Yeah, but she didn't get no conspiracy charge at all. They dropped it completely.
Right.
Like I say, there is something they got to have it on. I mean, it may be the only charge that they get to stick.
So Jezebel has a question. I have a question. Can they investigate Beasley's whereabouts sitting the time he was allegedly at the casino? Yeah, the casino's got cameras, but did they go to that extent to try to get it? Or did they just take his word for it that I don't know what they did. I know they wasn't out there looking when we were out there. So yeah, I don't know. Even though he's passed away, they could still go get the cameras from the casino. I bet they hold them cameras for a good long while at the casino. Cole and Tad might end up pleading when they find out the case in chief. I don't know. I think they're going to fight it all the way. We'll see. We'll see if the death penalty gets changed. Do I want it changed? No. I think they should all get the death penalty. That's my personal opinion. Let them all cook. Let them all cook.
It was so heinous.
Yeah, let them all cook. All 5 of them.
Yeah, I'd like to have it all done at the same time. One after the other.
Rory got a sweet deal. 30 years plus 10. That's only 40 years for all of this.
Actually, I read her thing, and it actually said that all her charges are going to run concurrent, which means that 10 will be running while the other 30's on. So I don't think she has to do 30 after, because she can be serving both sentences. And it said it right in her deal.
I think that she's going to get plus 10 on top of that 30. But again, I'm not an attorney, so I can't even.
All right. I mean, I think that was what the deal was supposed to be, but they said in her deal that she's getting sentenced for both, but they run concurrent.
Yeah, but we went over this, and I don't remember. Somebody went over it, and we went over it too. I want to say it might have been Melanie Little. I don't remember. But I remember them saying that it'd be 30 plus 10. But again, I don't know.
I read it somewhere in the papers I had today. It was on there. I was reading somewhere.
Yeah, that might be something that we talk about again next week. Exactly what Cora's got.
That is, if she don't get found guilty of perjuring herself.
Yeah, so in January we should go for Tiffany's and stay for Tad's too.
Mhm.
That both of them should be
Tad-
very
Tad's will be-
interesting.
Tad's will
Well,
be first.
they're saying that only like 5 people can go into the courtroom for media,
Really?
but we'll talk about it, Christopher. That's what I was told today. That only 5 people could go in for media.
It's an open court, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's extremely small. It'll only fit so many people. And honestly, before any media is in there, it should be any family that shows up should be able to be in there. And I don't know anything about his family and what they're following, what they're not. But somebody's going to sentencing. That might be the closure they need, and they come to Tiffany's. I don't know. But
Right.
again, uh, you can always try to go in.
Right.
But I know you would agree too. If there's no
Yeah.
room for anybody to sit, you want family to be able to get in there. Absolutely.
Right.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
family comes first before
Absolutely.
anybody. That's a must.
Maybe not the Kohlberger case because they wasn't trying to treat his parents fairly, but they should all be treated fairly.
Yeah. Like they always give in court, they always give the front row or the 2 front rows to family members.
Yeah, and you know what? Just think of the good one law says. I wish that too. Prosecutors hate going to jury trial. Yeah, they do. They hate going to jury trial. They will do anything for a plea, even an unnecessary no low yes. Yeah. So listen, that could still even happen.
Yep.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen to the 11th hour. Anything can happen during the trial. Anything.
Right. Not only that, I think Buddy Leach is the plea deal king, isn't he?
Well, I'm telling you, he's already got the hard one done.
Yeah, and she don't even have to testify.
We don't even get to know the truth out of her.
Right.
That's the sad part.
It is the sad part.
Yeah. Because that's the one I'd really like to hear talk.
Well, and we
Well,
don't know what the DA's, telling the families. So hopefully the DA's keeping the families up to date.
One thing Tiffany and Tad can go down saying is they didn't rat on each other.
Right.
Wow. Yeah.
That'd be the last thing they got, going in. If they're planning on getting married, they're still on the ball.
What if they tried to do this? We've been told that Paul Grice's wife went with the Cookses. I believe
Mhm.
they're in Wabash, Colorado. Anyway,
Right.
what if, that's, I don't know. I'm not in the jail. Okay. So you tell me if this is a possibility. This is just me thinking outside the box. But what if a message gets to Paul Grice? Hey, either you go back and say you lied again and you did all of this and Tad didn't do any of it and you held the gun and you made him do what he did do because you had the gun, or we're going to go after family. I don't know. I mean, I watched too many damn movies.
Yeah, right. Too many conspiracy things going
Yeah.
on.
But I've seen it
Yeah.
happen in real life, at trials and stuff.
Right.
Messing with witnesses,
Yeah.
messing with the defendant's family. I mean, listen, we've seen worse. Look at these YouTube streets.
Yeah, really. Yeah, there's definitely.
Yeah, and they can plea all the way up until the verdict's
yeah.
read. They can even
Yeah.
do it while the jury's deliberating. So yeah, they
The-
still got plenty of time to change their plea.
They
Yeah.
can wait until after they sentence Granny and still think about it.
I feel like we're kind of playing. I think they're playing chicken with the DA right now.
Yeah, I do too. Trying to see what they can get out of him or get.
Hmm.
He can figure out
Yeah.
that he ain't got enough to prove or does.
And as long as somebody don't fold, as long as they're not folding, you know what I mean? The DA's
Yeah.
still probably gonna come with different stuff. I don't know. I hope not. I hope they get charged. Again, I hope they got enough for first degree death penalty. I'm just questioning it. The 2 that's left are the 2 that supposedly they're saying Tad didn't have anything to do with it, and Cole, he was just looking for law enforcement and threw some clothes in a hole. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Even though they've been charged, the death penalty, the DA can still drop that. They can drop that anytime.
Until after they can't drop it after trial went because they already took them to trial, and then it's double jeopardy.
Yeah.
There's such thing as you can't try for murder again. So if they try and they don't have enough evidence for first degree and death penalty, they walk. That's what happened with Casey Anthony.
No, I don't
Seen
mean
this
that.
play out.
I mean, right now, they charge him with the death penalty, but they can drop that. They can still drop that if they want.
I agree with one law. It was obvious that Grice was involved, or that Tad was involved within everything before Grice pulled the gun. But the thing is, Paul Grice is saying he didn't see Tad and Tiffany. He was busy with Veronica. And when he got in the trailer, Jillian was already there. They asked him. He didn't see anything. He didn't even see Jillian get out of the car. So he didn't see anything that happened to Jillian.
Nope. And
The only
his
good
story
thing,
is,
the only good thing Paul Grice has got going is that he rode in the back of that trailer and he knows who was driving the truck, and that was Tad, and Tiffany was riding.
yeah,
But he knew what was going to happen to them. He knew they weren't going to come out alive. That was the point of doing what they were doing. So
right.
So
he knew that
Christopher-
much. He had to have.
Right. So I read today in the paperwork, without going through the 22 pages and all the rest. You remember when it said something about Tad dealing drugs? They were watching.
Yeah, he was known to be a daily drug user.
Yeah, that's what they
Yeah.
said.
No,
My God.
that's probably how he paid his lease for that land. I bet you he just gave Beasley bags of dope, and that's how he got that property.
Well, rumor has it that Beasley did do meth. I don't know.
He
That's what
admitted
we've
to
heard.
it. No, he admitted to it.
Okay, yeah. So then he admitted to it.
Yeah, Beasley admitted to it when he was up there. Yeah, it wasn't no secondhand or somebody else accusing. That would come right out of him.
And that was relayed to us from people that was in the courtroom, because the paperwork,
Right.
we don't got the paperwork on Beasley's testimony.
Right, we don't, but you're right, it was secondhand. Guess I should stop that because I didn't hear him say it.
Well, no, he probably did, but we've got people that was in the courtroom, and I don't
Right.
remember who we heard it from, but they're the ones that said that.
Yeah. That
But
was
I'm
part
sure
of his
people
story.
that know him knows that he was doing it. Now he's got a brother too, and I guess he was really into it. So it's really weird. But a person was married to the brother that called me, said the brother had been into really bad drugs, and that's secondhand too. I don't live there, so I don't know anything about him. Only what we've seen and uncovered with this case. That's it.
Right.
Jezebel Witch says Beasley said it in that interview.
Yeah. On the
On
documentary.
the documentary, right?
Yes, it was on there too. You're right. Yes, it was.
This is what I need. This is what I need the family here for, because this is a lot for everybody to try to, at least I got your brain, Jezebel's brain. Listen, Rock don't have that big a brain to take all that to remember where it came from. I do remember hearing it for sure. Said he did meth. Okay.
Yeah, it was said. It was confirmed in the documentary. That's right.
Well, that's
So I
something we
watched
should talk about as a family, but maybe we should start going over all this again. We just did the preliminaries of Cora and Paul, but maybe we need refreshers on things. Maybe I can go pull up stuff and we can watch the documentary again.
Yeah, that's been a long time.
I wouldn't mind a refresher.
It was pretty entertaining, actually.
And then after we watch it, I'll just delete the live. Otherwise, it'll
Right.
get struck, I think. I think that's what happened last time. I'll have to go back and look. Listen, I don't go listen to my old lives, but I will try to go back and look and see what all we covered before and just go back over it.
Right. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's going to be a good one in January.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm all mobile by then. Hopefully, have my settlement and have my truck going and
Right.
be ready to go. That's what I'm hoping for.
If not, we'll just swing through and pick you up.
Well, like I say, I'm hoping everything. Supposedly, the doctor that they made me go to, chose by disability, she wrote a thing that says he should have been on disability a long time ago. I don't know what you guys are waiting on, you know?
Yeah, I want to answer this too. I got 3 emails, and they were asking if there would be cameras in there. Well, we haven't had cameras up to this point, and I don't see them letting him do it for the trial.
They
Not
ain't
in
gonna do it
Oklahoma.
now. No way. I guarantee there won't be.
Yeah, I haven't responded to them, responded back to them, but I don't see camera. I would like to see them. I'd like to see cameras, but I don't
there
see it
ain't.
happening.
Well, they're going to have a trial. You never know. Court TV might put in something, Law and Order. You never
I
know.
don't think that. Listen, I don't think the good old buddy system will allow it to have cameras in there. Honestly, it's up to the judge, and I don't know of cases in Oklahoma that's been a trial. Show me a trial that they've had cameras. Maybe we could try to force them to have cameras. I don't know.
So it's always up to the judge, though, isn't it? It's always up to the judge. They're allowed to have cameras, but it's always up to the judge.
The judge is going to have a plea before it ever happens.
Yeah, they're just holding out. Chicken, game of chicken.
Yeah, they're just so.
Right
Okay,
now, he's screwed.
Hold on. You know, I'm always looking while we're talking because, listen, one thing I do pride myself on is trying to get the truth, the correct
Right.
information. So when we say stuff, I always want to look it up. This is what I looked up. Does Oklahoma allow cameras in the court? AI says no. Oklahoma does not allow cameras in courtrooms unless the judge grants explicit permission beforehand. While the use
Yeah.
of cameras is prohibited in courtrooms by default, judges have the authority to make specific exceptions for certain proceedings, often with pre-approved rules and conditions. Yeah, I don't see that judge doing that.
No way.
Nah,
I really don't.
nah.
He don't even want to admit he's got to deal with this case.
So in Oklahoma, no, they don't allow cameras in the courtroom, but a judge can change it.
I'm interested to see how they're going to sentence her. I'm sorry, but this is, I mean, they already got it set up. They've got to have a couple of days to have victim impact statements and stuff.
Yes, they're doing 3, and it's because of
3
the
days.
victim impacts. Yep.
So, like I say, I want to see how even, if they don't give her nothing, we know the rest ain't getting nothing.
Right, and honestly, at this point right now, what do you think she might be getting? Not the death penalty. How many years do you think they promised her? Did she get a sweet deal like Cora, or just not the death penalty? I don't know.
She's probably getting 30 years, like 30 years, I think.
Oh, she better be getting never out, getting way more.
Or
than
never out. Oh, who you on about? Tiffany?
Yes,
Oh,
that's who sentencing is in
oh
January.
yeah, she should get the max. She's probably going to get the max. She's the ringleader.
But we haven't seen anything saying that. That's the thing that's got me
So
questioning.
what does she plead guilty for then? What does she plead no contest for? Because the no contest is
Well,
the
obviously
judge
not to
takes
have
that
to
as a guilty.
testify. We are
Split.
not going to be privy to that plea deal till the sentencing.
Mhm.
They will bring
Like I
up the
say.
plea deal at sentencing.
Yeah, because no contest means the judge takes that as a guilty. So that's it.
They already took the conspiracy charges off of her and the child endangerment.
Right.
So they dropped 3 for sure off of her.
Right,
If
and they
not
got her
4.
on the murder charges then.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
murder charges without the death penalty. But
Mm-hmm.
how many years is he? I
Those
wonder
should
what
be life.
the range is for the judge, because there's a
They
range
should be-
there.
Yeah,
Should be
we don't
life.
know.
Life on each one of them charges.
I would think. Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. She's pleading to at least 2 life sentences.
Yeah, she's getting life. She's getting life. No, she's getting life.
You know,
Yeah.
Well, she's still going for first-degree murder. They're still going for first-degree murder, just not going for the death penalty.
right?
You see, in Wisconsin, we don't have the death penalty, but we have first-degree murder, a felony murder, and that is automatic life in prison, no parole, nothing.
See,
You die.
in Kansas, it's called off-grid, where they can sentence on anything. So there's no presumptive sentencing.
Yeah, ours is mandatory life if you get the jury comes back with
Right.
a guilty verdict. It's life without parole. That's a mandatory.
Right?
Yeah,
Let's see
it
here.
sure is for a felony murder.
Right.
Because
See
we got no death penalty. So what else can you do but give them life?
Right.
Okay, let me read this to you because I just asked, Google. An AI come back with a good response here. In Oklahoma, a first-degree murder conviction can result in a punishment of death, which they took that off, life imprisonment without parole, or life imprisonment. If sentenced to life with parole, the individual must serve a minimum of 85% of their sentence, which is more than 38 years, before being eligible for parole. And she's 50. How old did we say
She's-
Tiffany was?
She's almost 56. 56 or something like that.
Not a day. Not a day. Yeah, 60.
You're cutting out.
I just moved.
Can you hear her? Because I cannot hear her.
I can't hear it all. She
I
sounds
just
like she's
moved.
really
I had to pour more coffee into my cup.
That's what it is, huh?
Oh, okay.
Listen, I've been in my van all afternoon, and I'm just
Boy, you're
trying to
just
get
like
as much
Brian with
coffee
the
down me
beers.
as I can.
Yeah,
Right.
you're just like Brian with the beers. We know.
So, Christopher, you're saying she's 56?
I need a beer.
How old did you
She's
say she
about-
was?
56, I thought.
Okay. So 56 and 38, just one charge, 38, puts her at 94 years.
Yeah.
But also, the charge, where are they going to put her? I don't even know how many, I'm getting all flustered. How many women prisons are in Oklahoma?
I can't answer that
I know.
question.
Look
I'm
it
going to
up.
look it up.
Kansas only got one, but I don't know
We got,
about
one, we got one in Topeka.
yeah.
Let's go check them out.
I don't know what
Well,
they got for
Listen, she doesn't have to stay there. They can move her to any state. They can do a exchange.
It's not federal.
Like they do.
What do you mean? It's not federal. But
Interstate.
I will say, Letitia Stout, she was
No, it's
in,
not federal. You can go to
was-
any
hold
state.
on. She was charged in college. This is not federal. This is
yeah,
state.
they can't get an interstate compact to take them into any other jail.
No, I know it's state. It's not federal.
Yeah.
So how
I'm talking
they
about.
think they can just move them from one state to the next? Only federal does that. But I don't know. I'm not.
No, we
I'm
do
not
it
in
all the
Department of
time.
Corrections.
Watts, he came to Wisconsin. We exchange prisoners all the time. You know that one with the Sade here in Milwaukee, where he dismembered her body all over Milwaukee? Well, he's
Yeah.
been moved out of state. And so has Daryl Brooks. He's moved out of state.
Texas
They moved him
Chains-
out of state.
The Texas
And
Chainsaw
they-
Massacre guy is actually in El Dorado serving time.
And the one that kidnapped, what's the name? Jake, who kidnapped that 13-year-old. They moved him out of state too. They move our prisoners out of state all the time.
You know, that's
and
weird. 'Cause
Illinois-
state prisoners are state owned. It just surprises me that they move them so much. But I do know Letitia Stout, the one from Colorado Springs that killed her stepson. She's actually in Topeka now.
Yeah, they moved
Right.
her too.
Yeah.
She wanted to move back, didn't she? She was
Yeah,
complaining
let
so
me tell you what. I got some friends that work at Topeka. That's a
Yeah.
nasty place. But Oklahoma does have
much.
two
She
state prisons
belongs
for
in a
women.
nasty place. She's a nasty woman.
There is definitely Kansas, for example, only has one. Oklahoma only has two for women. So there's not too many places they can move women.
Oklahoma's
You know
got
how
two.
they move the prisoners? They always say it's because it's a safety issue. You see, it's always a safety issue. They always say that safety issue because
Right.
somebody always wants to, end their lives, and that is true. That's why they say they won't be in this state very long when they commit
What was you
certain
saying,
murders.
Christopher, what was you saying?
I said they have two in Oklahoma, two women's
Yes,
prisons.
they have two women prisons in Oklahoma. Sure
Well,
do.
she's got a choice. She gets shipped back and forth between them then.
hmm One law says
Yeah.
life or LWOP. Hopefully, the counts will run
Life without
consecutively.
parole.
Should at least LWOP. Most states have a scale to adhere to in sentencing. I don't expect any unusual sentence based on Granny's deal. Yeah, 38 years at least. That's the minimum for each
Yeah,
one.
well,
of the
that's
charges.
that's life for her. Who knows if she's gonna live to 90?
Well, just
Should be.
one of them. It puts her at what did I say? 90, 94 years old.
Four?
That's just one. She's going to get one for Veronica. She's going to get one for Julian. I want to see her plea deal. I'm interested to see it when it comes out.
Yeah.
And you'll be on it. You'll be
I
live.
just want to know.
That very verdict, you'll be live.
And I really want to know why she don't have to testify. They're going to put all this CW, you know, yes, she went to the police. She could testify against her mom.
Can't you look that up? Won't it answer you? Why? It might answer you. Might give you an answer if you ask Google.
Look what up?
Why she doesn't have to testify.
It's because it's a plea deal. The DA made a deal with her.
Oh, the actual plea deal.
Yeah,
You
I
don't
want to
have
see the
to.
actual plea deal where it
Yeah.
says that she don't have to testify.
Yeah. Or is that just a rumor?
Hopefully that makes that she's definitely getting life without parole. So it
Well,
shouldn't
yeah.
matter.
She's definitely in there for life, no matter what sentence she gets. She gets 40 years. She gets, I mean, doesn't mean she'll live that long.
Listen, I won't
She'll
believe
die in
anything
prison,
until
I
I
think
see it.
so.
I think this
Yeah.
is all the
Yeah.
buddy deal, and they're all getting really good deals. Let's see it.
Yeah. But
'Cause
she's
right
at
now we're
least going
speculating.
to, she's at least going to get 30 to 40 years. So no matter what.
Well, it just said 38 years for one count in there.
Yeah,
in
it says
two
38
rows.
years. But
I
38,
can't believe
38, right there.
I can't believe they were saying that they was stalking her in like every day for the last month or that last month of it. They was trying to get her
Right.
in their tent. And that was saying that Paul and Granny was in there. Yeah, they definitely.
it's a
So,
bloody family affair.
act so crafty women. This town is crooked. It's so crooked. They're trying to get these people off the death penalty. I agree. Also, I think Buddy Leach don't want to go to trial. I agree with that. I don't think he wants to go to trial.
It doesn't matter what state you're in. They always trying to make a deal. Always. Always
always
trying to
try
make a
not to go
deal.
to trial. I'm gonna let you and
Yeah.
Christopher talk for a minute. I gotta get a drink, guys. Go ahead. I gotta get a drink.
All right,
Yeah.
Christopher.
It
Christopher,
really don't matter. What?
I'd like
Can
to
you hear
know.
me?
Yeah,
Huh?
I'd like to know. Where's your picture gone? You're just a ghost. You're just a ghost. Oh, he's gone. I scared him. I said he was a ghost and he disappeared. He's a goner. Poof. Did you see that, guys? He just disappeared. All right, guys. Silence. Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait. It's a shame we can't watch it, though. It's a shame.
I know that.
Sumner has to pay for their stay.
Hold on. Justified wants to say something. Go ahead. They'll correct you if you're wrong. I don't know what she's fixing to say, but I hope it ain't about her husband. Go on.
Okay.
Well, it is.
Okay. A warning. A warning. A trigger warning. No.
Yeah. Listen,
It's clean. It's
Journey,
clean.
you're gonna have to call me and I'll tell you what she was saying on the live last night. That was the quickest live I ever got off of.
Oh my god,
Just
you
so
guys are
everybody-
making a big
Go
deal
on,
out of it.
ask your question.
All right, so
You're
like
a
I
naughty
know,
girl.
like when Sedgwick County holds, like let's say for instance, Sumner County inmates, it's Sumner County that has to pay that fee to Sedgwick County.
Yeah, we're
So I
not.
didn't know if it
We're
works
not.
like that
That's
with
just
states,
that's
too.
jail, but that's not prison.
I know I didn't know if it worked like
Yeah,
that with
no,
prisons
we're talking
too.
about prison. We're
That's what
talking
I'm
about
just
prison. Yeah, because even the U.S. Marshals house people in Sedgwick County
So
jail.
like let's say we're housing Texas inmates. Texas would pay Kansas to house those inmates.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it works the same way. Right?
Yep. Let's see here. Mama lost Rhonda. The DA's crooked. Gotcha. They left you to entertain us. Yeah. I had to get a drink. Hello, Gracie. Good to see
Yeah,
you.
but you said talk to Chris, and I said, "Hey, Chris." He goes, "Yeah." I said, "You got no picture. You look like a ghost." And he went poof, and he went.
Yeah. In his defense, in his apartment,
He left.
the internet is very shoddy.
Yeah.
Very shoddy.
Yeah, I was
So,
messing with him. I said, but he did disappear as soon as I said that. It was just good timing, I guess. I was just
Hawkeye
about
says
to-
she just finished supper. Granddaughter and mom are here. Awesome. Journey says, hey, JC, And Christopher says, I got zapped. Oh, I thought I dropped the link again. Here you go. I was going to say, Christopher didn't leave because of you.
No, I know. I said he just went poof as I was just saying he's a ghost. And he poofed
I
and he
zapped him.
left.
I zapped him. I didn't know why he's fixing to say so. I just zapped him out of there.
Ah.
I really didn't.
Yeah,
kick him
and
out.
I was just going to say so. Have a conversation. And anyway, you guys came back faster than I could
Dun, dun,
get it out.
dun.
He's
Oh,
back.
he's back.
It's
You
my
gotta let him talk.
house.
You just gotta let him talk a little bit.
Here comes my dog. She's ready to wrestle.
There you go. So what else do you want to, what else do you have questions about Christopher that maybe we should cover? Or chat. Anything else that you want to suggest that we go over? Start going over the main things of the case again?
The things that they do have.
Yeah. That we know they have.
Yeah, there's a lot of it there. And they're definitely, if you don't take a plea bargain, he's crazy with the chance of the death penalty.
Yeah.
Is there any more updates about Butler, Jesse Butler? Is there anything
Oh
new?
yeah, I'm gonna show you something. There is no update on that, but it did hit ABC News, national
World,
news.
World News. Whatever.
It was a very little clip.
ABC World News. That's what it is.
I had it up here and ready to show you guys, but then I had two of me up here and I had to close everything out and restart my computer.
Yeah.
We can't have to. That's too much.
Here we go.
Yeah, any little update is better than none. Even if you're getting ABC and you're getting the big news
There we go.
stations getting
Yeah.
it out there.
I'm skipping over a lot because it was way down here.
Yeah.
It shows the video. Let me see where it's at. Oh, this should have been yesterday. Hold on.
Not today.
It was yesterday's.
Yeah. Well, at least it's getting out there. That's what we want. We want any little information to hit the top news
Mm-hmm.
at the top
There
of
was
the
2 or
hour.
3 national reports on the
Tonight's protests
reporter
now
too.
Yeah, here's the ABC World News. Here's what they put on.
Okay.
erupting in Oklahoma after a high school student accused of rape and strangulation will now avoid prison time. The body camera video of his arrest tonight and why he received lesser charges. Here's ABC's Rhiannon Alley.
Tonight, outrage in Oklahoma, protests erupting after a high school student accused of rape and strangulation will no longer serve prison time.
So turn around for me.
Body camera video showing authorities arresting then 17-year-old Jesse Butler back in March. Prosecutors initially charging him as an adult with 11 counts in connection to the alleged violent sexual assault of 2 victims.
Stay strong, okay? Say your prayers.
Butler had pleaded
Oh
no
my
contest and was facing significant prison time until prosecutors agreed to a defense request to downgrade him from an adult to a youthful offender. Instead, he was sentenced to counseling, rehabilitation, and community service, avoiding nearly 80 years behind bars. David, many parents and local lawmakers are blasting this deal that many say lets this young man basically walk free. David?
Rhiannon Alley with us tonight. Rhiannon, thank you. This evening, former NFL star Tom Brady saying he has cloned his beloved dog who died almost 2 years ago. Brady, an investor in the company doing the
Cloned his dog. Huh?
He cloned the dog.
That's what he said.
I was muted. So Axe Crafty Woman says I was trying to go live with you all. Slow connection. You're always welcome to come on. And if you have a channel, share it. And you're always welcome to share anything that we share here. I have no problem.
Yeah.
You will never see me strike you.
Yeah. Share it out. Share.
I'm the type everybody knows that I just want everybody talking about it, these cases.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
everybody talking about them.
Yeah, it's no secret. We're not trying to keep a secret, right? Like some
Absolutely
channels.
not. And we're not trying to make money. We're not trying to do shit except to get the truth out there. That's it.
Yeah. Truth seekers. Get the truth out
They had
there.
national news on the Wichita news reporter that killed her mom. Well, I guess wasn't a Wichita news reporter, but a news reporter from St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had that on national news too.
That's a big thing. That's a real big thing.
Yeah, even old Nancy Grace was covering it.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting too to see exactly what went down there. Because, like I said, I was listening to the scanner. That thing was. She said that her mom had dementia and her mom attacked her with knives. That's how the
Yeah.
scanner call come across. You'll hear it if they release the 911 call.
They had her in court already today. And,
She was in today because she was in yesterday. Was she in court again today?
Must have been yesterday then.
Yeah, I was gonna say if there's something new.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, whenever that they had her, like I say,
This just happened Halloween, the morning of Halloween.
right.
Yeah,
That's
the
crazy.
31st it happened, right?
Yeah, Halloween.
Yeah.
That's what either I'm listening to YouTube or I'm listening to the scanner. And usually I go to bed at night listening to the scanner. And believe it or
Uh-huh.
not, if my eldest daughter's listening, she can verify this. She got pulled over one night at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I heard it. And the guy read off her name. I immediately was calling her. What are you doing at this time? Why are you out running around?
Yeah. Going to
Are you
work.
kidding me? So yeah, Mama lost.
Yeah.
Rhonda says yes. I saw it yesterday. Okay, just want to make
Yeah.
sure.
It was yesterday. Didn't you show it yesterday? Or I watched it somewhere. I watched it somewhere.
So
And
yeah,
did they charge the second guy in the London Valdez? Or
no,
just
they
one?
haven't. They haven't charged the second one that I know of. You know me about the judicial system here. They suck. Are you all following the London case? Yes, we are. Absolutely. We've been following it from the get-go. I think, honestly, other than Annette Lawless, we was the only other ones following it from the very beginning.
Right.
And all she was doing was reporting, missing and unsolved type of stuff,
Right.
which was a lot of information. Listen, I love Annette Lawless, so you won't hear me say anything bad about her. I love what she does.
Well, we had some news here in Wisconsin about the food stamps.
Oh, really?
No, we did in Wisconsin. Our governor, he's releasing some money to be paid to the food stamps for the month
I
of
thought a
November.
judge said
For the month
give
of
today.
November.
I thought Trump has to give money by Friday or something.
Well, the state is releasing some money. The administration is releasing money for the month of November.
Well, I can promise you that somewhere along in these good old boy days here, somebody set up a deal where the federal government's going to pay your state back for what they give out.
Oh yeah, probably get back at some point, but just right now they found some money somewhere, and they're going to pay. Not, I don't think everybody, but a good portion of it is probably going to go to whoever they decide it goes to, or it's just eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they are for the month of November.
Yeah, so I want to go back to the London Valdez case. What has been done so far is supposedly Braden got into it with his father and got a DV charge, and he was in jail. And while he was in jail, Buddy Leach, the DA, filed charges for second-degree murder of London, saying that he supplied her with the meth. Okay, this is a thing I want to ask you, Christopher, because
Yeah.
check this out, and Journey. So I know we got a case in Sedgwick County, same thing. Sold the drugs to somebody, but in that case, the police was on it and watching. Okay, so they know that this person got the drugs. The person that died got the drugs from this particular person. They know this. How do we know that London got the meth from Braden? How do we know that? I mean, she's gone. How do we know what transpired in that vehicle? How do we
Phone
know he gave it
calls,
to her?
phone calls, maybe emails, something, messages.
They better have something like that, because otherwise, how do you prove something like that?
Well, they
Christopher, I
if
want to
they
know your
said
point
that's how
too.
they did it, then they got some proof somewhere along the line.
Yeah, I
Somewhere.
would think the toxicology report would be bad enough because that's a minor, and it shouldn't take more than that to get the charge.
But
Should be
they,
open and
they,
shut.
they can't prove. They can't prove nobody was in the car, right? Unless the other
Right.
guy's saying that Braden gave it to her. I mean, they have to be
Yeah.
able to prove that he gave it to her. Or he sold it to her, however, but it sounds like to me gave it to her.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I would think that being that's a minor, you're not actually allowed. That's what the law would state. It doesn't matter. You're not allowed to sell it or whatever. It can't be hers. You're
Well,
responsible for the adult in the car.
one thing
And
about
that's
that case, one thing about the London case is
Mhm.
I do believe there's a lot that we don't know in that case.
Right.
And so it's really hard to say. Well, even the mom said that she couldn't release what she knew. So we don't know everything in that case.
Right.
I'm just saying that the DA has to have some kind of proof that he's the one that provided her with that. And how do you prove that? Unless he was being watched.
I think that would probably fall back under the operator of the vehicle that got stuck type of law, where the drugs was in his vehicle, so he's responsible for it. Bet your money that would fall under that type of law ruling.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Especially
like
with him being the
it's like
adult.
if you have a little kid and you got drugs, you didn't give it to him, but they got a hold of it and took it and
Right.
died. It's the same kind of thing, right?
Yeah, same exactly.
Yeah,
The
same principle.
adult, the responsible party in that room was not acting
Yeah.
responsible.
Right.
Well,
Whether
was
she
it?
stole it, took it, I don't know.
I think it was the Joe Schmo. I said I wasn't going to say his name again, but he was on
Yeah.
that other channel talking about the case, and I'm pretty sure it was in that's the one I watched where he said that she used to date this Braden guy like a month or two before this. Well, who was allowing her to date this guy
Mm,
if the age difference is so different? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Well, she didn't live with her mother, right? Or what?
No, she lived
No.
with the grandmother.
Right.
Listen, and
She
that's
lived
not
with
uncommon. I know a lot
no,
of people that maybe are, say, living in Kansas City and their
right?
kid starts to get in trouble and they move them out of that area, maybe to go live with grandparents, hopefully getting them out of that environment, getting them in a different
Yeah,
environment. I can
yeah. See how
understand
it
why
works. Yeah,
I can understand why London was moved back to Hooker, smaller town. You know, they said that she would
yeah,
drink when she was in Ponca City. She would always find alcohol, to get her out of that. I would move
yeah,
her to a smaller town too. I get it. And
yeah,
by no means do I think any of this is the grandma's fault. Now I will tell you, my kids have friends. One of them's my son-in-law. His mom's in prison. She'll be in prison forever in Topeka. Okay, and his dad died, but his dad wasn't very good when he was alive to him, and his grandma raised him. Okay, he got in some trouble, and then his brother spent a lot of time in prison. I just think a lot of times grandparents, myself including, I don't think grandparents should have to raise their grandkids. And why do I
oh,
say that? Because I feel like that my grandkids could probably pull things over my eyes too. You're the grandparent. I'm not
mhm.
saying London did that. I'm just saying I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, but you
It's
know
not-
what? With these teenagers, once they're out your sight, they're out your sight. You don't know what they're doing. You
No,
just
you
have
can
to
get
trust
away
to do
with
the right
a
thing.
little more. You can get away with a little more, most people, with their grandparents than they can their mom or dad, usually.
Yeah, but when they go out, right, and they're allowed out to go wherever to the store, you don't know what they're doing. You just trust them to go to the store and behave, right? You
Right.
gotta, there's nothing much you can do outside, you know? You only can do what you see in the house and everything, control certain things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to
No
answer that
drugs in
question,
here,
though,
no drinking, no boys. I mean, what else can you do? Not a
right.
lot.
To answer Crafty, yes, we've been covering the London Valdez case. We did several, and at the beginning, I did talk to her mother, and anyway, I never revealed anything that was said in conversations ever. I just think there's a lot more to, and she didn't tell me any like extremely crazy shit. So I don't know. Let's have to wait and see what they say.
Yeah.
They're trying to do that all over, though. They're trying to charge the dealers with deaths, fentanyl deaths, and everything else. If you're selling it, you
Yep.
should be charged with it. If you sell, listen, if I sell Christopher some drugs and they kill him, I should
Yeah.
be charged. I sold him
Yeah.
drugs that killed him.
This is
That's what's
trying to
going to happen
stop the
on that.
dealers. This is
That's what's going to
stop
happen
the
on that Kansas
dealers.
City Chief game thing. That
Yeah.
boy, guarantee it. It was his house they went to, and they all died except for him. You know.
Yeah, you can put a tracker on their cars, but what they're saying, London is 16. Okay,
Yeah.
Valdez,
Yeah.
and again, you know, they had been at a hotel and Liberals. Just sounds like a bunch of at the pool and Liberal was released. You know, for I think the mom said they had been at the pool. Several things was released, but who actually saw Braden give London drugs?
Yeah.
Are we going on hearsay?
Fingerprints?
Like I said,
Anything that they had a package with fingerprints on?
They didn't have
Anything
any
like
of that.
that?
What about assumptions? Are we giving assumptions? What they're saying is that they were doing. They didn't say London, saying Braden was all messed up, okay, and he thought the cops was chasing him, and he got the truck high centered, and it seems like they consumed whatever they had, whatever meth they had, and they went
To
separate
hide
ways.
it.
They ran separate ways, and something happened to her
Oh.
along the way. They wasn't found together. They ran separate ways, is what I've been known to believe.
Because she just swallowed it, thinking that she'd poop it out or something, and it killed her.
I think he was paranoid, and he did say that he thought the police was chasing him. And if you got a shit ton of drugs, you don't want to get caught with them, and you're not thinking if you're already fucked up. You're not thinking you consume them, not thinking that they're going to kill you. You're going to have so much in your system.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they're thinking about hiding it so the evidence ain't there.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And were they running?
Yeah, he went one way and she went the other way, according
Oh,
to.
so it wasn't the
The
drugs
vehicle was
that
stuck,
the cops were chasing him.
so
They
they were
really
all on
chasing
foot.
him. They were
Yeah.
the cops were really chasing him.
Yeah, let Christopher's gonna tell you. Go ahead, Christopher.
Yeah, yeah. That guy had gotten the truck stuck that they were in, and they couldn't get it out. So they split ways. He went one way to supposedly get some help to pull it out, and she got tired of waiting and went the other way, and then died.
You think that's what happened? Because I do
Mhm.
believe that they thought they were being chased by the police, because that was brought out by the mom, and he had called somebody, and told him
Yeah,
that he was
'cause-
being chased by the police. If you think you're
right,
being chased by the police, I think. Listen, I wasn't there, but I think they might have, swallowed it.
right.
Swallowed the drugs so they wouldn't get caught with the drugs. That's what I think. Listen,
Mm.
I don't have any. He might have Crafty. I don't know. I don't know that she's ever released the conversations that she had with Brayton. So she's asking, or he. I don't know if you're here. I say it says woman. Didn't he admit to the mom? I don't know. I don't know. I think she said she taped him, but I don't know. We haven't heard them recordings.
Mm.
We'll just have to wait and see.
She taped him. Was it legal for her to tape him? Just
Well,
asking.
yeah, because in Kansas, you just have to be a party to the conversation. If I'm on the phone with you, I don't have to let you know I'm taping you because I'm there. Now, if I'm in Brahms and you and Christopher are sitting in the booth beside me and you're talking about something really good that I want to tape, and then I try to use it against you, I can't tape your conversation unless I'm a party to that conversation.
Right. Yeah, because every state kind of got his own thing going on.
Yeah, most of them though, you have to be a party to the conversation to tape it.
Yeah.
Most.
Well, I'll tell
Yeah,
you. I'll
most.
tell you a quick thing that happened in Kansas. My ex-husband. I guess I must have tried to call him. Maybe something about the kids, but I didn't get it hung up or so. I don't know. And he supposedly thought he had some recordings of something. And the judge said, "You wasn't a party to that conversation. We can't even listen to that." And listen, let me tell you, it wasn't about drugs or anything. Yeah, it was probably about my daughter's tongue ring or something that he tried to take me to court for. I don't want you to think I was doing bad shit because I wasn't. But he did take me to court for the music she listened to, her tongue ring, different things. So, but I had called him maybe to see if he was coming to get the kids. I don't even remember what the situation was. He brought in back then we had, old answering machines that has a tape in it. He brought the tape in, wanted to play it for the judge. And the judge says, "But this was on your answer machine?" "Yeah." Well, I can't hear it. Well, you wasn't a party to the conversation, and it got thrown out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Ah.
So, all right, guys, we've been on here 3 hours. So, hopefully everybody enjoyed it, and
Woo
I'll
woo.
try to I'll try to go live again Tuesday. Journey, I really appreciate everything you did yesterday, and in the chat and the comments, because I could not see the comments. I want you to know I
Yeah, you're
really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I knew that you probably couldn't see, and I was thinking, I'll let you know. I'll
Right,
just drop it.
and
Information.
to all the mods, I appreciate everything you do. This is all of our
Yeah.
channel. Christopher, I
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah.
everything you do. Everybody, I appreciate everything you do. I'll tell you right
We're all
now, if it
mods.
wasn't for you guys, I'd walk away and I'd just do it on my own. But because we're a family and we all like talking about it and we like discussing it, that's why we
Yeah.
still have this channel.
Yep.
And as long as people still want to discuss it, we'll continue to have the channel.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain cases that go on for years. Even Watts, they're still talking about. I'm like, oh my God. You know what I mean? But this is very important. You got to still talk about it because it's, you got to get it out there. Got to keep talking about it because if you
Yeah,
don't,
American Airlines are canceling all flights, huh?
It's shutting down. That's why I'm just looking up.
Wow. That don't surprise me. Ain't
Spirit.
paying nobody. They're shutting down all
Spirit.
kinds of airports.
Well, in Milwaukee at Mitchell Airport, you know, the airline Spirit,
Mhm.
well, they're pulling out of Milwaukee. They're gone. Pulling out. Yeah.
Well, this says, hold on.
Don't know why. Bad business or something. I don't know why. I think they're bringing somebody else in because they're expanding it and they're bringing new airlines in to make direct
November
flights.
6th. November 6th at 8:41. Let's see what this says.
Shut down. Oh, well, they can't fly if they ain't got staff,
Right?
which they don't. They're working their asses off. And how many?
We begin tonight with the breaking news, the growing chaos facing millions of airline passengers across this country. Major airlines, including Delta, United, and American, already canceling hundreds of flights because of the government shutdown, now day 37. The FAA is taking extreme measures, ordering flights be cut by up to 10% at 40 major airports across this country, including New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles. This government shutdown, the longest in U.S. history. Air traffic controllers now dealing with no pay, their second paycheck with a zero. Passengers scrambling to make last-minute changes, of course, concerned whether their flight will be canceled too, concerned about being stranded. Also breaking at this hour, a federal judge tonight ordering the Trump administration to fully fund November food benefits, SNAP, for 42 million Americans by tomorrow. ABC's Rachel.
You said the same thing. Something new. I hadn't
Yep.
seen that either.
Mm.
Wow.
That's what I
So I
wanted to hear.
wanted to look up the airlines because listen, I want to say this too. A lot of times in chat, it's like a text message. Somebody might type something to you and you might think it's bad or misread it. Texts are so easy to misread. So when
Yeah.
one law put American Airlines are canceling all flights and shutting down, I thought maybe they was like closing business, closing shop. So I wanted to look it up. Because shutting
No.
down could be a lot of things, right?
What they should do is say grounding their planes. You know, it make more sense if they said we're grounding the planes.
You have a good night too,
Yep.
crafty woman. Glad to see you back. One law says they said they haven't been able to overcome the losses since COVID. So
Yeah.
you're saying that they're shutting down like closing doors? No longer going to be American Airlines?
They're cutting it down. Maybe they're just getting
Well, American
so many
Airlines
flights.
is Minneapolis, Minnesota, right? Think so. And Dallas. American Airlines is a big company.
Yeah, American is in Chicago International too, because I used to go American to go to England. I
Right,
had to
right,
go
right.
to
But I'm
Chicago.
talking about the main hubs. I know that Minneapolis is one. I know that Dallas is one.
Chicago. O'Hara is one. It's a big hub there.
Right. But like Delta's at certain cities. Kansas City, I think, is Delta.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to make sure that I'm not so AI is not always right, but that's who answers Google here. But I
Yeah.
asked, is American Airlines, are they closing? And it says no, American Airlines is not closing, but it is cutting a small number of management and support roles as part of a workforce reconstruction. This decision is separate from a separate, unrelated event. Listen, there's a car or motorcycle going by. Unrelated event where Kanini Aviation, a small Alaskan airline, announced it was ceasing operations. The confusion arose from a misleading social media post about American Airline, which actually refers to that Kenya Aviation. So, is that what you're talking about, One Law? I just wanted to make sure. Because that's a big company to be closing its doors.
No, they're not closing their
No.
doors. They're just cutting down for a minute, saving money any way they can, you know, because they're losing billions a day.
Right.
That's a lot of money. They're losing billions a day. It's a big money maker.
Well, I could see, I know that with the government shutdown, that it has affected a lot of stuff. But she put that they said they haven't been able to overcome the losses since COVID. Again, I think, like they said, that miscommunication there with that smaller company that's part of American Airlines closing. I don't know. Fact check to the right there. Hold on, I see a fact check. Let's see what that is. Right here to the right. Fact check. Let me grab my glasses again. American Airlines didn't announce it's shutting down. Let's see what that is. The airline did announce and cut a small number of management and support roles. Let me back up here. Here we go. Fact check. American Airlines didn't announce it's shutting down. Thursday, November 6th at 4:40. I think somebody got confused. In November 2025, a rumor spread online that American Airlines, one of the largest commercial airlines in the world, was shutting down. People began searching Google Archive for information on the airline potentially shutting down and searched the Snopes website for information on the rumor too. The rumor spread on social media sites, including TikTok. Let's see what this says.
But you know what? We're getting so close to Thanksgiving. I think that's going to be for a lot of people.
No, this was fake. This was fake news, is what it's basically
Fake
saying.
news. Okay.
Fake news. Okay. The rumor was not true. It stemmed from confusion regarding the shuttering of another much smaller airline. American Airlines did not announce it was shutting down or going out of business on its website. On November 6, 2025, the airline announced the Federal Aviation Administration directed it to reduce its number of flights due to the government shutdown. This announcement made no mention of financial issues in explaining the reasoning for the reduction in flights. Snoops reached out to American Airlines by email for confirmation, but did not receive a response prior to publishing. We will update the story with American Airlines' response if it sends one. There you go.
Well, that's what they got to do. They just got to cut back for a minute. That's all they got to do. They got to keep going, but limited flights.
Yes, One Law, I believe you are probably pulling up a different article. It sounds like it went all over TikTok and everything else. So
And Yahoo and Reddit, it's everywhere.
That's one good thing about the internet. We can always try to look it up again and try to look at it. Yeah, see, I don't think that's true. I think somebody misdid that. I think they're also talking about that smaller company.
It's probably Spirit.
Okay, she says that Google AI says it is an incorrect article. Listen, we never know, and I appreciate you sharing it always. I appreciate everybody sharing. Did we lose Christopher again? We did.
That's why we like to read different articles, because, you know, we got to get the truth somehow.
Right, and it might have said something before, and they've changed it. When you read it, listen, I haven't been on TikTok today.
Well, I just looked at some, and the reason why for the cuts is because the U.S. government shutdown led to severe staffing shortages amongst air traffic controllers. See, we got a problem with the air traffic controllers. They can't keep working 24/7.
Yeah, One Law put the link. I can't click it on my computer, and that's what I'm on. It won't let me click
10% reductions. 10% reduction in flights at 40 major U.S. airports to maintain staff operations. Which airports are affected? The major hubs is Dallas Fort Worth International, DFW, and Dallas Love Field are among those impacted. 1,800 flights daily could lose around 180 flights per day. And American Airlines are cutting about 220 flights daily from November the 7th through November the 10th as part of the FAA directive.
So,
Yeah,
hold on,
airline-
Journey. Hold on a
Yeah.
second. I'm sorry. Justified wants to say something. She came in here and wanted me to let her say something. Go ahead.
Oh, my cousin Melissa, she is a retired air traffic controller from the towers and stuff, and they make them retire at a certain age because they think they lose their cognitive abilities to maintain stuff. So
55, isn't it? 55.
yeah, it's in their 50s, I think, and
Yeah, I think it's 55 because they were talking about it. They have to retire them at 55. That's why. And they take
I can
years to
understand that,
train.
but there's still a lot of people that can still do the job, I think, after 55.
Oh, yeah, but that's their mentality. That's what they think, right?
Cognitive tests every year would be a requirement, but
Or an eyesight test, like your driver's license.
Yeah, they do have checkups every year, don't they? They have to be tested to make sure, and all that and the other. But 55 is a bit young. If you're dead at 55, my God, why are they working us to nearly 80 before they retire us now? That's crazy. You know what I mean?
Right.
my mom died at 66. That's young. Right.
Oh, I mean, that's young these days, 66, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. Especially when you're the oldest one in our rock crew here. Okay, I pulled it up.
Okay.
Just because you guys are talking about it, so I pulled it up.
I'm the one with the youngest heart.
That's right. Okay, it's saying that yes, the standard mandatory retirement age for U.S. air traffic controllers is 56. However, there is a provision to
56.
extend their service up to age 61 if the Secretary of Transportation grants an exemption for individuals with exceptional skills. I think Christopher just got back.
Yeah, they were trying to up the age. Yeah, when they were talking about it, they said, we got to up the age because, not everybody's.
Okay, so whoever Angel Baby is, it says devices not connected. They will need to connect their mic camera before you can add them to the stream. I don't even know who that is, but it's saying that no, you can't join the stream unless they will need to connect their mic cam before you add them to the stream.
Yep. Got
Let's
a press
see.
on that.
Marina Mom 11 says Google says they have to retire at 56. Thank you very much.
All right. 56.
High
Well, I
stress
said
job.
55. I was close.
Well, not only that, it's not just that. It's a high stress job. Your eyesight has to be good. And
Yeah.
listen, we all know, especially the older we get, our eyesight starts going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I'm not gonna
reflexes
go
get a little slower.
And I don't go to the eye doctor every year like I'm supposed to. Okay. When I can't see and I'm getting headaches, that's when I go to the eye doctor. I'm sorry. And then I kind of fake it, make it, and make it. Oh, I'll tell you this. I was going to say that was the driver's license place. So my license, because of COVID, it goes for 7 years, but it was due to be renewed when COVID was going on. I didn't even have to go in. I just
Nope,
did it.
you
I
didn't.
just did it online.
I'll tell you what.
A lot of people did that.
And people, the high school kids or anybody taking their driver license, they just gave them the license. They didn't even make them take a test. It's ridiculous.
Oh, they make no.
Getting
Here
licenses for free.
they make you take the test and you have to pass the eye. They give you an eye exam.
No, the test. They didn't have to do the driving test. I'm saying they just let them have the light. They had to take the test, but not the driving test. They skipped it.
Wow.
They were doing it to a lot of people here in Wisconsin. I said, well, you're just lucky. Now's the time.
Wow. That's
just
crazy.
pass your test. Yeah, that's what they were doing. I'm telling you. I'm like, okay.
I believe you.
No, because I was working then and I had a lot of young people I was working with, and they're like trying to get the license. They says, "Ooh, I didn't even have to take my test." I was like, "Look at you,
Well,
not a big deal."
Rick has to get his done because he gets his more often than me because he's got a CDL. And when he went
Yeah.
to get his done, he's never been to an eye doctor ever. And she said, "You're not
Mm.
you're not reading that correctly." And he put on his readers, okay? And he was able to read the eye test. And she said, "Okay, well, now I have to put on your license." Your phone's ringing back there. I have to put on your license saying that that you have to
Wear
have
glasses
corrective
when you're
visions
driving.
now. Yeah, he came home and told me I have to have corrective vision now. I said, "You mean your readers allowed you to see them lines? Are you kidding me?" And they allowed that?
Yeah, well, you got to be half blind to not have a license. I'm telling you, they'll let anybody drive.
It seems that way, don't it? Sure does.
Well,
Seems that
you
way.
know, they say, well, as long as you can see good enough, then, well, what they do sometimes do say is you can't drive at night, and they'll put that on your license, but they'll let you drive during the day. Do you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
at a certain time when it gets dark, you cannot drive anymore. So, you know, they help people out, keep their license, right? Because a lot of people can't drive at night because they don't like the lights shining on them and rain, you know, all that horrible weather, and they can't see properly. So don't drive in the dark. I mean, that's better than not having no license, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, it is. Are you surely you while we're live right now, you do have it going live to your channel, right?
No, no.
Okay, we need to start doing that because I have no problem with you doing it live on your channel.
Yeah, I just didn't do it. I just didn't click on it.
Okay.
That's
But you
okay.
know I don't care.
I got to be careful when streaming with somebody else in case they play certain things. If you're playing that music, and then we'll both get it.
I've not got zapped for music. I haven't got a strike about it. They'll say, they'll stop the stream if I do it too long, but I've not got striked about it.
Oh, no,
Not
I
on
know
the
the
channel.
music that you have for your channel. You're allowed to have that. I just
No,
mean
I'm
those
talking.
YouTube,
I'll sit here and I
those
played.
YouTube things.
Listen, I played some Journey. I played all kinds of stuff. Okay, and they
I'll
ended
tell
the
you.
stream. They ended the stream, but I've never been struck like where they're going to take my channel down for playing it.
Oh, oh,
You just
that's
can't
okay then.
monetize, and they'll stop the stream, like warning you, you can't play that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. One law says 7,200 DL have been suspended by the Trump administration so far since the illegal alien driving a big rig and killed people. Yeah, Oklahoma's really cracking down on the CDLs.
Oh,
But
yeah.
listen,
Well, you
half
got
the
to.
people, they shouldn't have had CDLs.
What
Sorry.
about the governor that's charging that guy, that truck driver that killed that people in Florida? He's charging the state. Where was it? Was it in Oklahoma? Whoever gave him his license, he's suing them for the wrongful deaths. You came to my state and killed somebody, and you gave them a fake license.
I just know
And now
Oklahoma really started cracking down on CDLs and taking them from people. It's a big deal. They
it
have
is
a
a big
problem.
deal. That's a big truck, and you better be a good driver, and you better have a real license, right? A real license. At least have a license, you know? That's crazy.
Absolutely. I do remember seeing that Oklahoma was going after the CDL drivers and because of the
Well,
aliens.
number one, they're a company and they're liable for their drivers, you know, and stuff. And they're supposed to be responsible for them to make sure that everything's in good working order, you know, licenses, their eye tests, you know, if their blood sugar, they have to have monthly or 6 monthly checks and checkups. And I mean, my
Look at this.
God.
I want to show you this. You know me. As you're talking, I'm looking shit up. Look at this. Okay. Oklahoma leaders to give update on Operation Guardian. Okay, 2 days ago. Oklahoma leaders to discuss Operation Guardian, a controversial mission to deport undocumented immigrants at 8 a.m. And then Oklahoma troopers and ICE target I-40 drivers, dozens. Oklahoma Highway Patrol and ICE agents conducted a 2-day operation on I-40. Oklahoma targeting commercial drivers not in compliance with federal immigration laws. So yeah, they are cracking down. 130 truckers arrested because of the Oklahoma and ICE crackdown a month ago.
Okay, Jezebel Witch. Good night. Thanks for stopping by.
I'm fixing to get off of here too because I got to get up early. I got a lot to do, and my anxiety is already kicking my ass.
Well,
So,
just don't worry about it until the morning.
we will plan on a live Tuesday unless something else comes before then. I gotta get the
Yes.
I gotta get the motorhome situated this weekend too, get it winterized. So let's see, that is 7,200 more to be deported. Trump said things are going to go quickly. There you go, for sure. Appreciate. I always love what chat has to say too. That's why I try to get everybody's comments.
Yeah.
And you do too. I said when I'm over in your chat, I see you talk to me and stuff. I always try to address everybody's concerns in here. So absolutely, crafty woman. Good night, Journey. As always, as my producer, I really appreciate you.
Yep. Good chat, everybody.
Absolutely.
Enjoyable.
And I
Peace.
will see you Tuesday, if not before then.
Okay. Peace out, everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Much love, everybody. Talk to you later. We're out of here. Rock Chalk is out, and so is Journey.
Called up the neighbors, warned the town. The Rock Chalk crew is messing around. They're chasing justice sharp and bright. Welcome to the fam, keep your truth in sight. Deb C's got receipts from 1882. Hacked the database with a can of glue. Hawkeye sees your blade from another state. Still found time to bake a cake. Nota's running, not from crime. She just forgot the noodles this time. Micah singing ballads to his cat. Solved the case just like that. Black opal, sneaky, mysterious style. Caught a lion through a bathroom tile. Christopher preaches and takes the stand. Turn water to coffee with just one hand. Mama lost us where the bones are hid. She just laughs and says, guess I'm part of the grid. Beach babies tanning with suspects in tow. Solves crime while surfing, justice on the go. We're rock, chalk, wild, weird and free. Breaking down lies, mid-waxing spree. Truth, drama, and twists for days. We solve cold cases in chaotic ways. Dance like a suspect caught on tape. Delightfully chaotic, got rage and style. She filed an FOI right from the mile. Lavender sweet till the plot gets thick. She solved the riddle with a selfie stick. Gail's got gossip, it's top secret grade. She backed the case with a pink band-aid. Jane speeding through charts and maps on display. Racing for truth, she's blazing the way. Ostrichen boots with an attitude. Pecking the facts and serving the truth. Pete Young is composing the justice jam. With a mic in one hand and a jar of jam. Jezebel's casting spells in court. Summon a witness in unicorn shorts. Beautiful holidays just glowing bright. She don't argue, she sparkles you right. Leroy snoozing with a solved file stack. He solved 5 cases and still took a nap. American honey, sugar, sass, and stain. Made the perp confess with a mood ring. Tiny Tots rides in on a scooter of doom. Throws glitter bombs right on target zoom. Girly girl's got a side eye that kills. She found the motive using puppy squeal skills. Rock Chalk Squad, we're a little crazy. We solve the puzzles and break the routine daily. We investigate, laugh, and keep spirits high. We're the funniest justice family, give us a try. Chaos, flare witness law, we're Rock Chalk, stand back in awe.